man. I hope that's our brush for the season. I have doubts about that, but I'm hoping that tropical storm, now Hurricane Debbie. Oh, you see my little Debbie snack cake video from Publix?
Yeah.
Is that coincidental? Come on. All right. Hey, if you don't know about that, I'll get into that coming up. So, yeah, hopefully that's our brush for the season. But, you listen to all the TV weather guys like, Dennis Phillips, our official partner from ABC 28. They're our official weather partner. But you listen to all the weather folks on TV like Dennis or Paul Delgado, and they'll tell you that the tropics are just getting cranked up now. So, hey, Pat George joins us. Busting news. You know what? They got to change that. I'm tired of breaking news. It needs to be busting news. That's it. Change all the graphics to busting news.
We have busting news now.
All right, so we've got all kinds of traffic crap going on. You've got a tractor trailer that flew over the side of I-75 southbound, just south of Fowler. Is that correct, Pat?
That's correct. It's called the bypass canal.
Right. So I know that stretch. The Tampa bypass canal, which is I-75, and it's southbound, where a tractor trailer flew over the side, and the whole trailer part is like dangling, and it looks like it's like situated in the bottom of the canal with the butt end sticking up.
That's correct. You can see the whole back of the semi.
Where's the cab?
Well, it's on the other end of that.
All right, do we have
We don't know anything about injuries, but I do know that from Fowler to I-4, it's closed. It's probably going to be that way till 11:30.
Holy crap. All right, so and then we have 275 northbound Howard Franklin problems. All right, so here's the deal. I-75 southbound, you have to get off at Fowler and then figure out how to get back on I-75. All right, just use GPS.
Or get off at Fletcher and don't give it that backup, because Fowler's going to be heavy.
Yeah, all right, so you're right. That's going to be a mess. Get off before there. So if you're on I-75 southbound, you're hosed because you got to get off at Fowler. You're forced off by FHP at Fowler. The other issue is 275 northbound here in St. Petersburg. They are forcing you off of 275 northbound at Roosevelt because northbound. Did I say northbound? Did I say it correctly?
Northbound.
Yeah. So northbound. North, because southbound is I-75. Northbound 275, you have to get off at Roosevelt because the approach to the Howard Franklin Bridge is flooded.
Correct.
And because I just passed, I noticed I was like, "Where's all the traffic? Where are all the cars on 275 northbound?" When I was on the Howard Franklin Bridge coming from South Tampa, and I didn't see anything. So I get off at 4th Street because we're on 275 southbound. We get off at 4th mostly, or we can get out at 9th and Ulmerton and take the MLK fork at Ulmerton, but. When I got off at 4th Street, I noticed at the last turnaround for 4th Street North, there's a trooper set up, and he's blocking all lanes, preventing any cars. So 4th Street North, I saw the trooper, and he's turning cars around at the U-turn area, so you cannot get on I-275 northbound because of the flooding. So it is closed.
I took 9th.
Closed.
I took 9th off of...
I just did the arm X.
Yeah, the big X.
When you're in Asia, especially in Japan, like no or closed, they'll take their forearms and make an X. It's hysterical.
So anyway,
closed!
I took 9th off of Interstate 275 South coming off the Howard Franklin.
Why? Why did you take 9th? Oh, because you like 9th better than 4th.
Well, because, there's more food options. Better.
You haven't even got to the most important one of all of this, too. The Skyway.
It was also closed. The Skyway is closed.
They closed the Skyway
last night sometime.
Yeah, late last night they closed the Skyway. That's still closed?
Still closed, both directions.
All right, so we got some bitch traffic problems all over the Tampa Bay area right now.
There's a jackknife tractor trailer in downtown Tampa off of northbound 275.
Well, hold on, where's this?
Downtown Tampa.
Yep.
Kind of like where it curves to fork off to I-4.
So
I'm driving.
You're talking Malfunction Junction?
Before the junction.
Okay.
There's a jackknife trailer and all kinds of cops out there.
All right,
wow.
But it's very low traffic because the bridge is closed.
All right.
Right.
Downtown Tampa is where the accident is.
But on the north On the northbound side.
Yes.
So is it right at downtown or past downtown?
Kind of like right at the buildings.
Right in the interchange
Okay, so
area,
right-
northbound. But there's no traffic
But there's
coming
no
through there,
traffic,
so there's
right.
not a backup.
I was like, traffic is really light. Wow, people really are on.
There is
on the
about
road.
50% less traffic on the road, and this is
Yeah.
really good that it happened this weekend. Next Monday, start of school.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
true.
right.
Oh.
And, it's a good reminder now to tell people to slow down because I saw people flying past me on the Howard Franklin Bridge.
Crazy.
Like,
They're
flying by.
they're flying. They're driving
Yeah.
like it's dry.
Yeah, in the right and the left lane.
Yeah.
I just drove the Howard Franklin at 5:20-ish. I was on the bridge 5:20-ish this morning. Roxanne, you just came over because you just rolled into the studio along with Fester just before 6 o'clock here. When I was I had no rain. It was a little windy, but nothing. My car
Yes.
really wasn't getting blown around at about 5:20, and I had no rain.
I had
And-
rain the second half of the bridge.
Okay, I had no rain on my drive from South Tampa. I'll tell you right now that in Beach Park in South Tampa, in the West Shore area, my streets were flooded in my neighborhood in numerous spots.
Bayshore Boulevard still closed.
So Bayshore Boulevard, that closed yesterday afternoon with some of the high tides that rolled in and all of the rain. If you look at the rain numbers here, with when it passed us, when it was at our latitude, it was still Tropical Storm Debbie with a Y, and then it made hurricane status with was it the 8 p.m. intermediate or the 11 p.m. It made hurricane status. Last I saw, the 5 a.m. advisory for Debbie, which is well past our latitude, but these are the bands. And the bands, when you look at the classic circulation of a hurricane, the bands, they're going to be with us through tomorrow. We're going to have rain still tomorrow. I've got a bunch of the rain totals. We've had a boatload, a crap load, a dumpster load of rain. We've been nailed. Down in Sarasota, 12 inches of rain in spots. Northern Pinellas County has seen 10 to 11 inches of rain. At my house in South Tampa, and I'm south of Tampa International Airport, that's where the official rain collection bucket is, like for the National Weather Service, I
Is
believe. Yeah, at Tampa International. Because that's why they measure rain at Tampa International a
Okay.
lot. Yeah.
Do they really have a bucket, like a Home Depot bucket
It's,
with a couple
it's
hash
like,
marks
it's
on
like
it?
this. I believe it's like a funnel device. Like I put a bucket in my driveway, which is very unscientific because it's too wide of a gap for collection. I think it's like a low opening and a funnel. If you go to Amazon and just type in rain gauge,
I will.
and you'll see how these rain gauges are designed. But I've easily had at my house in South Tampa about 6 inches of rain, I would say. 5, 6, maybe even 7 inches of rain. We had, heavy bands coming through all day yesterday. And then we get lulls where there were like torrential rains all around us, but we were in like a swath where it was like, not raining for quite some time. Yeah, it's like a cylindrical device. I put out a beer tub,
Yeah, it's not very scientific at all.
It's not. And that thing is jacked. All right. That thing is, but it's not. I don't have, what? I need to get a rain gauge. I do.
You seem like a guy who would have a rain gauge on you.
How do you not have one already? What a nerd.
I need to get an official rain gauge. Anyway, so traffic is a mess. Skyway closed. 275 northbound Howard Franklin Bridge. You can't go. You have to get off at Roosevelt. You've got I-75 southbound. They're forcing you off at Fowler just before the Tampa Bypass Canal because a tractor trailer flew over the side and is ass up. And I don't know where the rest of what's up with the driver? We have no information. The cab, we believe, is down in the Tampa Bypass Canal, and the whole butt end of the tractor trailer, it looks like a 53-footer, is jammed up in the air. So the cab has to be at I would imagine, in the water. With some of the traffic cams, I couldn't see where the cab was. I hope the driver's okay, but that could be a dismal situation. So what a freaking mess. And I hope that this is our brush for the season. Knock on, oh my God, this is crap ass.
It's not even real
This
wood.
is press board.
Just knock on your head.
Son
That
of a-
counts.
Thank you. All right, just getting rolling. It's going to be a busy Monday. We got normal show stuff. We got weather stuff. You know how we do it. 6:10. Let's check with Pat and traffic. We're back in minutes here on the MJ Morning Show.
All right, North.
is the MJ Morning Show here on Q105. Excuse me. MJ and Fester, Roxanne, Andrew, the producer, in the booth. That's the booth, by the way. That's the BOOF.
Right.
Booth. Had a kid on my dorm hall in college up in Ithaca. Yeah. Hilliard Hall, Upper Quads. Yeah, I forgot his name, but it wasn't a birthday. It was a birth. It was BURF, birthday. Yeah.
Yes.
So, the latest on this tractor trailer over the side on I-75 southbound just after Fowler in the bypass canal, we're now hearing from news sources that the cab of the tractor trailer, so the cab where the driver is, that it dangled for what? You heard 15 minutes?
Yeah, 15 minutes it was hanging over the guardrail, and then the cab gave way, and then now it's submerged.
And the cab fell into the bypass canal, and we have no word on the driver?
No, all of this happened around 2:30 to 3 o'clock in the morning.
Well, that's a long time. That's 4 hours ago.
Yeah.
That's a long time ago.
So we don't know if he was able to get out?
Oh, God. Can you imagine if the driver was dangling and then the cab snapped off of the trailer that he was towing and then fell into the canal?
Hillsborough County Fire Department's out there right now with specialty units.
Well, I would imagine the dive team
Yeah.
would be out there as well. I hope this is not a fatality, but we haven't heard a word about the driver.
Oh, my God.
Oh, that sucks. Again, if you're just tuning in, traffic is a bitch. You got 275 northbound is closed at the Howard Franklin Bridge. You have to get off. If you're 275 northbound in Pinellas County, they're forcing you off at Roosevelt. If you're trying to get on at 4th Street north to 275 northbound Howard Franklin toward Tampa, you can't. Troopers are blocking that. They're making you U-turn back down 4th Street. So 275 north Howard Franklin, you have to get off at Roosevelt. Then you have I-75 southbound, and that's the tractor-trailer incident. At I-75 southbound, you have to get off at Fowler. They're forcing you off at Fowler because of the tractor-trailer dangling over the side into the canal a little past Fowler southbound. So that's Fowler to I-4 on I-75 is closed. And then the Sunshine Skyway has been closed since about 10 o'clock last night. Sunshine Skyway, 275 north and south, that's been closed since, well, I have my alert. I got a Florida Highway Patrol alert from Sergeant Steve Gaskins. I got the alert in my email at 10:11 p.m. last night. So
It's a long time for the Skyway to be closed.
That's a long stretch. So the Skyway's been closed for over 8 hours at this point. So traffic, especially some big arteries here in the Tampa Bay area, are a mess. And then, Fester, you said you saw a tractor-trailer accident near downtown on 275 North. Now, granted, traffic 275 North through downtown is going to be a whole lot less because of the Howard Franklin northbound being closed on the Pinellas side. But still, all the people in Tampa, so Tampa side, getting on at West Shore, getting on at Lois. I guess you have what am I thinking? Armenia? Can you get on at Armenia? I'm trying to think of all the areas.
Yeah, I think you can.
Armenia,
Yeah.
You can't because it goes over to Howard.
Is that what it is?
Because Howard and Armenia are
Yeah.
side to
You
side.
get off on Armenia. but you can't
Anyway,
get on.
so
Okay.
Depends which way you're going.
anyone that gets on the Tampa side and needs to roll through downtown, you're going to have trouble. But was it closed?
No,
or
traffic was still passing.
Okay.
But it was 1/10 of what it normally is.
All right, so you'll have issues. All right,
Okay,
Pat,
wait, I have a
Pat
quick
just
thing.
rolled in.
Hi,
Pat, what's going on?
What's going on, Pat? But I have to tell you guys.
Hold on 1 sec. What's going on, Pat?
Skyway up there telling us now it'll probably open around 10 a.m.
All right, so
That's going to be horrible for your commute.
This is what I was going to
God.
tell you.
All right.
Guess what? This is very important.
What?
I had a dream last night.
Well, I
That was on the Skyway
I
Bridge.
wanted to go to Pat first, which was more important.
Roxanne's dream is
My
way
dream
more
is way more
important.
All right,
important.
so
I was on the Skyway
So the
Bridge.
Skyway is going to be closed, they think, till 10 a.m.?
That's what they're saying, but it could open. But right now they're saying 10 a.m. But if the water recedes, or the wind goes down.
Well, the Skyway's wind related.
Yeah, but their approaches are wet too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
All the way down in Terracea, it's wet.
All right.
Oh, it's wet. Thank you, Pat, for that breaking news.
On the roads.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Keeping you updated.
Very important thing that everybody needs to know right now.
Yes, tell us.
I had a dream last night that I drove to Bradenton.
Let's let Roxanne jump in before Pat. Pat rushes in with traffic news, but Roxanne wants to talk about her dream
I
first.
was
I was
talk about our
leading
dream.
him into what my dream was.
I just want to get to the fact why are traffic guys rushing into the studio live?
Okay.
Yes, that I think was a little more important.
This is news
Yeah.
breaking.
All right.
I had a dream last night that I drove to Bradenton, and now I'm wondering how did I do that if the Sunshine Skyway was closed?
Oh my God, that's some hot content right there.
Did you take
All right.
just Hillsborough County?
Right?
right.
Is that what I
Selman?
did?
The
It
Selman
did
down
feel.
through-
It felt like a long drive.
through
It's
Apollo
all making
Beach and-
sense. Yeah.
All right. I just want to shoot myself.
No, listen, MJ, listen, Roxanne's dreams often
Yes, they're
predict very short-term future events.
All right, so what's going on weather-wise here? And I want to start to get into normal show material. Oh, by the way, Paul Delgado, I saw him on Fox last night. I saw Dennis on Channel 28 last night.
Oh.
And they were busting into regular programming, and I bring this up. So I'm floating around. I'm punching up all the different channels, and because whenever the policy typically locally is on TV, whenever a tornado warning comes out, they break into programming and they stay on until the tornado warning expires. So Fester is all pissed off because I get an email from Fester last night. We got a huge weather situation, and Fester is angry because Big Brother on CBS on Channel 10 was interrupted because of, God forbid, tornado warnings.
Ugh.
So Fester's all. We'll get into this later on.
So
but
mad.
I'll share Fester's email.
So frustrated.
I get an email from Fester, and he's all aggravated that Big Brother was interrupted on CBS. Dennis Phillips from ABC Action News, Chief Meteorologist Dennis Phillips, will join us at 8:30 this morning. So mark your calendars right now, ladies and gentlemen. Get your Sharpie and just mark it on the wall. 2 hours from right now at 8:30, Dennis Phillips live here on the MJ Morning Show to discuss exactly what we can expect. Because we've got more of this. We're going to have rain and wind today. Tomorrow, we're still going to have bands of rain and wind. So, the talk is that today, for the remainder of today, we're going to have another 3 to 6 inches of rain in parts of the Tampa Bay area. And then tomorrow, look for another 1 to 2 inches of rain. And again, when you have these bands that are whipping around, the rainfall and the wind gusts are going to vary dramatically depending on where those bands are. And if you're in an area where you get that heavy training of the bands just rolling through continuously, that's where the rainfall totals are exacerbated and they get really, really high. All right, 6:31 here at the MJ Morning Show. Let's dive into some early morons in the news next. How about that? So we'll balance today's show with because I got a lot of normal content we got to get to this morning. So we'll do a balance today between normal content, and I'm sure we'll take some phone calls later on. South Tampa, typical streets, flooded. I had to navigate a little bit through my neighborhood this morning. Nothing terrible, but my street has about 4 or 5 inches of water in it in South Tampa and Beach Park, West Shore area. 6:32, early morons of the news next. closed before you get to the Howard Franklin Bridge. So if you're in Pinellas County, 275 northbound is closed. They're taking you off at Roosevelt. That's been the case since like 3 a.m. this morning because the approach to the Howard Franklin on the Pinellas side as you head to Tampa is flooded. There's just a lot of water on the road. They're making you get off 275 northbound at Roosevelt in St. Pete. So you got to use the Gandy or Courtney Campbell to get over to the Hillsborough side. You've got the Sunshine Skyway closed, both directions because of wind. Sunshine Skyway closed until, well, Pat just came in and said it could be 10 a.m. After 10 a.m. until the Skyway opens up. We'll bring you, obviously, any opening. And then you've got I-75 southbound. I-75 southbound, a tractor-trailer accident. A tractor-trailer went over the side at the bypass canal, which is just south of Fowler, and a tractor-trailer flew over the side. Reports are that the cab was dangling for 15 minutes and then snapped off into the canal. And I just have just a fear for that driver. And Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office dive team on the scene, FHP, Hillsborough Fire and Rescue all over the place. And we have not heard the status of the driver. So I-75 southbound, you have to get off at Fowler is where they're taking you off of I-75 south. That means that I-75 southbound is closed from Fowler all the way to the I-4 interchange. That's southbound. Just a total mess with all major arteries in the Tampa Bay area affected in some way.
You might be best served getting off southbound I-75 as far north as Bruce B. Downs just to avoid all that and then take Bruce B. Downs down through Fowler and
get off earlier.
Yeah, much earlier.
Probably a good thing. All right, let's do some early morons in the news. here on the MJ Morning Show. Leave it to the villages, man.
What happened?
Well, a villager will lose her license. Why? Because she smashed into a police car with her golf cart drunk. Ha! You know how I feel about golf carts on the regular road, right?
I've got a question.
Yes.
It's instantly, without knowing any details.
Jizz.
Even if you don't have a driver's license or a driver license, however we say it in this
In
state.
Florida, it's driver. Like a lot of states, it's driver's license. But if you look at our license here in Florida, it doesn't say drivers. There's no apostrophe S. It's a driver.
So
I'm a driver, so I have a driver license. Yes, Fester.
So you lose your ability to drive in the state of Florida. Can you still drive a golf cart, the vehicle that she is accused of using during?
I know when you lose your license in Florida, if you have a DUI or some kind of issue where you're suspended, I know there are provisions where you can ride like a moped or a scooter under a certain horsepower, I think it is.
But a golf cart, I put that in a totally different category.
Listen to this. A villager will lose her driver's license. That it says in the story, it says drivers, but in Florida, it's a driver license.
I'll correct them.
Smashed a golf cart into a police car. Leanne Woodall, 62, of the village of DeLunatic. I'm sorry, it's just DeLuna. The village of DeLuna. How many different villages do they have in the villages? Like 12 billion?
I mean, that's pretty close.
I think as many planets as there are estimated in the solar system. So she's 62 years old, and she pleaded no contest. A charge of driving under the influence. She's going to lose her license for 6 months, placed on probation for a year, has to perform 80 hours of community service. She was driving a golf cart shortly before 9 p.m. on April 6th. She made a U-turn in front of a Wildwood Police Department vehicle and smashed right into the police car. So investigators spoke to her. They noticed that she was slurring. She wasn't steady. They suspected she was drinking. Yeah, she was traveling alone in the golf cart and said that she had 2 Cosmos earlier in the evening.
Who drinks a Cosmo?
Yeah, that's kind of, I haven't heard of it.
That's an
a
old
Cosmo in a while.
person
That's
drink,
not-
right?
It's actually a Sex in the City drink.
There's
right?
plenty of
Right, that
people
was what
drink Cosmopolitan.
Harry Bradshaw drank.
All right.
But that's the old go-to thing that you tell the cops. Like, you know, folks, because, you know, Michelle used to be a Hillsborough County assistant state attorney, and she started out she started out in juvenile, and then she moved on to, you know, and she was handling DUIs. And that's like, and you know, me knowing a ton of cops, you know, over the years, that's like one of the top things that a drunk driver says when asked, hey, if the cop says, hey, have you been drinking? I had a couple of beers earlier. That's like the number one thing. Yeah, had a couple of beers earlier is what they always say. So she said she changed it up a little bit. Had a couple of Cosmopolitans earlier. So they figured she was drunk. Guess what? She had a blood alcohol, and this is after clearly some time went by before she blew. She had a blood alcohol of a 0.189, and then the second blow was a 0.184. Legal limit is 0.08. She had more than 2 Cosmopolitans, unless the Cosmopolitans were the size of Home Depot 5-gallon orange buckets. You know those big, little worksite buckets?
That'd be a good Cosmo. That'd be a big Cosmo.
That's a big Cosmo.
That's the party size.
Party size. Fun size. Drunk off your ass size. Give me a break. Get out of there. Hey, speaking of drunk driving, and I've got zero tolerance. I mean, so many, families have been ripped apart on both sides, but you look at innocent victims, people that are just taken out by a drunk driver. Listen to this. This is out in Arizona. A cop in Tempe, Arizona gets honored by MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
Right. Okay.
Guess what happens to the cop?
What?
He gets pulled over after the party?
The Cop gets busted for drunk driving.
Oh, no.
Can you imagine this? A Tempe police officer was recently recognized for his efforts to curb drunk driving, has been arrested for alleged DUI. Yeah, early morning hours of Wednesday, July 31st, department was notified of a DUI investigation involving an off-duty officer, Zachary Hyde. Tempe Police Department, which they call it TPD.
Yeah, that's
TPD,
right.
Tempe, Arizona, TPD. They were contacted by the Arizona Department of Public Safety. That sucks. Man, how embarrassing is that?
I will say that the folks at Med gave him an engraved shot glass.
No, they didn't. No,
cool.
they didn't.
Okay,
it was like a glass little plaque, engraved like a glass monolith, with the engravement on it. At any time a criminal investigation is brought to our attention about one of our officers, we take the matter very seriously. They confirmed that a trooper arrested Hyde during a DUI investigation, but did not elaborate on the case. I got to believe the details are all public information. Just over a month ago, Officer Hyde was among 2 Tempe police officers who received the Hero Award at the 35th Annual Mothers Against Drunk Driving Law Enforcement Recognition Banquet. Oh, boy. Your hard work and diligence to ensuring safety on our streets was recognized tonight among officers from the whole state of Arizona. And then the guy a month later gets pulled over for DUI.
At the Mothers Against Drunk Driving Law Enforcement Recognition Banquet.
Oh, God.
Do they have an open bar? Do they have drinks?
Good question.
I don't know. I mean, I've never been invited or recognized.
I have more early morons, which I think I might just push off to the next segment. We've got a really weird hair licking incident.
Ew.
Yeah.
I'll listen.
Hey, Roxanne, have you ever been shopping out and about and had some stranger come up and lick your hair?
No, but I feel like, the licking is taking it to next level. Sniffing hair, yeah, that happens all the time.
Hold on, you've had a stranger sniff your hair?
Well, maybe not a stranger.
Maybe just someone I know.
Maybe somebody she works really close with.
Was it
every
a
day.
full-size guy or was it a midget?
A full-size guy.
Licking your hair.
Full size.
Full size.
Just out of curiosity.
Full size.
All right.
Only because of circumstances.
All right. Listen, we've known Dave the Dwarf over the years, and
Shorty
of
Shane.
course Shorty Shane these days. Gee, your hair smells terrific, All right, so I got a bizarre hair licking story and more next on the MJ Morning Show here on Q105 at... MJ Morning Show on Q105 701, rolling up on 702. It is a Monday morning, and we still have the remnants of this, well, now Hurricane Debbie. If you missed my Instagram over the weekend, check it out. I shot a little video yesterday in Publix. Yeah, I'm calling conspiracy. There was a whole Little Debbie snack cake rack dragged right in front of the self-checkout. So the Publix that I use most is the little Publix on West Shore, or on Kennedy, in the West Shore area. So the little Publix right on Kennedy, across from West Shore Plaza. Yeah, that's where the Sports Authority used to sit. Now it's a smaller size Publix, and that's closest to my house. Or else I go to the one on Neptune and Dale Mabry in South Tampa. So I had a craving for romaine lettuce, and we had none at the house. So I ran up, and it was kind of a lull. We kind of had a lull in the tropical bands yesterday, so the weather wasn't terrible. It really wasn't raining, maybe a little drizzle. So I run up to Publix to grab some romaine lettuce, and Chloe wanted grapes. Oh, and I bought some chicken thighs as well.
Okay.
I shot a video. It's on my Instagram. And as I'm doing self-checkout, I'm like, I haven't noticed that there before. There's a Little Debbie snack rack. I mean, this whole, like a 5-tiered rolling rack of Little Debbie snack. Hey, go ahead and refresh it. I want to play this. Let me play this.
All right.
Because this is coincidental. All right, go ahead and hit it. Go.
It's got some lettuce, got some thighs, have some grapes. Do you think for 1 minute it is any coincidence they have this Little Debbie snack stand set up right here at self-checkout with Little Debbie churning it up outside? This is no coincidence. This is a conspiracy.
Yeah, no doubt.
I'm at self-checkout at Publix.
So
You got a lot of time on your hands. Tell you, we need to get you a new hobby. I tell you, they have my favorite on the rack.
Well, what is your favorite? By the way, the hurricane and prior tropical storm, Debbie is Debby, and of course, Little Debbie, as in the snack cakes, that's a Debbie. So there is a little bit of a spelling difference.
How touchy are Debbies over that?
Oh, I think it's a big deal.
Like my wife's name is Allison, and an Allison with one L, she looks down on. But a Debbie, Debby, I bet
there are a lot of variations. There's a Debi.
Yeah.
There's a Debie, and then of course the Y variation.
Yeah. Yep.
But I imagine if you're a Debbie, you take it very personally if somebody misspells it or if they.
Yeah.
No, I'm an IE.
Yeah, because everything's a downer.
If you want to see my shopping cart contents, and if you want to see the video of way too much time on my hands, it's on my Instagram. Listen, it's got thousands of views already. I mean, if I go to my Instagram, let me see how many views that stupid little video has. But seriously, I've never seen a Little Debbie snack cake rack right in front of self-checkout. And Little Debbie is churning outside, and the snacks are there. Come on. Is that coincidental? I doubt it.
I don't think so.
Dude, that's got 8,500 views so far. This is like it was 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock yesterday, and it already has 8,500 views.
It's very timely. It's storm related, and people have a lot of time on their hands. They're all cooped up yesterday, so you got a lot of views. Good timing.
Apparently so. So power-wise, we didn't even flicker. At my place in South Tampa, we did not even have a power glitch or a flicker. I was like, crossing the fingers. Michelle was all pumped up to see this season finale of House of the Dragon on HBO last night. I'll get into that later on. And then Fester's all peeved because of all the cut-ins, because of weather and tornado. Fester's angry at Channel 10 because they broke into Big Brother for a tornado warning. Hang on, we'll get into that later on.
It sounds like you're making fun of me.
I am making fun of you.
I don't appreciate this at all.
My sister made me watch a little Big Brother at the beginning of the season so far. It's good.
So good.
It is good.
That's Fester's show. We'll get into that later on. I'm looking at, before I get into the hair sniffer, before I get into that, I'm looking at the power outages as of 20 minutes ago in the various counties. In Pinellas County, there are 26,000 customers, 25,931 to be exact. Pinellas County, that's how many customers have no power right now. In Hillsborough County, it's much lower. There are 8,629 customers without power in Hillsborough County. In Pasco, it's 5,511.
Hey, Andrew, what's that website that you would put on my computer that would have all the counties and all of the up-to-date outages? Do you remember that?
Well, I'm sure he does because he printed this out for me from there.
Oh, well, then good.
Yeah,
Well,
unless
what
he
is
had some sudden case of amnesia.
I don't know. Maybe in the last
He
20
might get
minutes?
clonked on the head and he's got or maybe dementia set in. I don't know. Yes, Andrew.
Poweroutage.us.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I knew it was easier than I thought.
Poweroutage.us. All right, Pasco, I said 5511. That's a very nice watch reference, by the way. Customers in Polk County out 4347. And let's see, Hernando 2279 out, Manatee 3720, and then Sarasota County 8,404 without power. This is as of 20 minutes ago.
Douglas County, Nebraska has 23,535 people. That must have been a twister.
Must be the whole damn state. 23,000 people. That's the whole state of Nebraska.
Certainly all of Douglas County.
Or Twisters, because, you know, that movie's doing very, very well. Yeah. All right. Again, traffic is a freaking mess this morning. Pat will have traffic in just a few minutes. You got the Skyway closed. You got 275 getting on the Howard Franklin northbound is closed. You got to get off at Roosevelt if you're 275 northbound. In Pinellas, you've got I-75 southbound. You have to get off at Fowler because a tractor trailer went into the bypass canal. Just a mess. All right, so Roxanne, you've had a stranger come up to you and sniff your hair?
No, not a stranger, but maybe someone who shouldn't be sniffing my hair.
By the way, I have a lot of stuff for you today.
Shouldn't be.
I have a lot of questions for you during the course of the show.
Oh,
Just a remarkable amount of content where your thoughts or your experiences come into play. All right, so you've never had your hair sniffed or licked in public?
just by Fester.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
All right, now sniffing is creepy enough.
I am the second most prolific hair sniffer in the country behind President Biden.
Right behind Biden.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Me and Joe can get jiggy with some dues.
Biden's got a lot of video out there of him apparently sniffing hair or whatever
Yeah.
he's doing.
Yes.
If I run
Yeah.
video all the time, I'd have a lot of video of me out there.
All right, so hair sniffing is creepy enough. If you want to take it to the next creepy level, you go to hair licking.
I mean, there's nothing worse than as a woman, you guys don't experience this as much as I do, but like when you get a piece of hair somehow caught on your tongue, maybe you're styling your hair and there's a piece that goes in your mouth and it's just like, it's so annoying. Why would someone want that?
It's really not it's more of a, it's more of that.
No, I think it's more of a,
No, all right,
No.
so you think it's a,
I think it's a,
no, that's you're like savoring, you're eating. No,
well,
it's
then
more
you're
of a,
like, it's in my mouth. I might as well enjoy it.
That's been my working theory all
no,
along.
that's the hair stuck in your mouth sound. Not a yum, 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 yum,
Well,
yum,
it's
yum,
like
yum.
if it's tangled in your teeth and then you just start to use it for floss,
There
you just
you
make
go.
the best of it.
All right, well, the creep meter has just pegged. This is up in Georgia, Douglas County. A guy's bonded out. Devin Davis was arrested, and he was released on bond, and he also had to agree that he will not go back to the Arbor Place Mall or approached his alleged victim. 35-year-old cretin charged with simple battery after allegedly licking and sucking the hair of an 18-year-old girl that he did not know. You imagine you're walking through the mall and some stranger comes up to you and starts licking and sucking on your hair?
Ugh.
What the hell?
All right.
I hope they choke on it.
God, that is grotesque. I mean, hey, you got all kinds of cretins and weirdos. Well, remember we had the Dollar Tree or Dollar
Tree.
where a guy
He's really excited to be there.
on the leg of a yeah. I mean, you had an employee at Dollar Tree that was on an aisle, like I guess tidying or stocking shelves, and some guy comes up behind her and on her leg.
The toe lick. When you talk about licking, the toe licker in the hotel is the one that comes to my mind as the creepiest.
Refresh my memory on that one.
It was a guy who was sleeping in his hotel room. He checked.
Yeah.
There was the guy who checked him in, the manager.
That was in Nashville, Tennessee.
Yes.
That was like in Nashville.
At a big hotel chain.
A big hotel. A dude was sleeping in his hotel room, and the manager came in with the master key card, and the guest wakes up, and the manager's at the foot of the bed sucking on his toes. What the bleep? Well, that's another reason why you should always put that little bar across your door so the manager doesn't sneak in and suck your toes in the middle of the night. That's right. Thanks for reminding me about that one.
I would like to point out that the Homewood Suites does not offer that service.
What?
Toe sucking in the middle of the night.
Okay. All right.
I asked.
All right. But they do have the bar that you can put across your door, right?
Upon check-in, I go, do you guys do toe sucking service?
Yeah, but you know what? If you do put the bar across, hotel front desks, they have the tool to get into the room just in case. So even if you put the bar across the hotel door, in case there's an emergency in that room and you have a guest that's incapacitated, they do have a little tool to push the door open and then get the bar off. So I don't know if you can. Do they offer those like on Amazon? Can regular civilian, not hotel workers and owner, can they buy that device?
Oh, now I got to look it up.
Yeah, really. Hotel safety bar removal device. I wonder if you can buy. Listen, I don't want to give any creeps any ideas here.
Maybe we should stop talking about
Yeah, we
that.
probably should. We should probably just dump this whole segment. Yeah, is there
Amazon Brinks portable safety bar? That's a safety bar.
No, that's a safety bar. You can, there are like your own safety bars you can buy to affix to the door yourself, to put like a brace, like a crutch against the door and put it on the floor. There are like devices you can buy. Yeah, I don't see.
So thankfully, the first several dozen things that pop up on Amazon are to add more security to your room.
Like you can put a door wedge. There's like a door wedge with an alarm that you can stick your own wedge in on the floor to prevent somebody from doing a push in or using a tool to break in, even if you have the safety bar. But I'm just curious if they sell the devices to remove the safety bars in the event of an emergency. Anyway, ladies, heads up for any creep that might want to come up to you and lick and chew on your hair while you're shopping in a mall.
Be on high alert, Roxanne.
I got a feeling I'm going to get a report about this from International Plaza later this week.
Probably.
That's going to be Pat George, our traffic guy. I'm kidding. I'm joking.
Repeat hair lickers.
I'm kidding. Man,
He's not against it.
That's just gross. 18-year-old young woman gets her hair licked and chewed on, starts putting the hair in his mouth. What is that fetish?
I just gotta.
What is your sick, twisted fetish where you want to lick some strange girl's hair at the mall and then put it in your mouth?
Was the guy bald?
I have no idea. I don't have a mugshot on the guy.
Was the hair like a high pony, or was it pulled back, or was it flowing low?
That's some pretty sick stuff. We got a big concert cancellation. It was huge, massive concert cancellation we got to talk about. Also, you hear what happened on a Frontier airplane flight?
What?
This is your first officer speaking. If you look out your left window right now, I'll finish that thought next.
Were they flying?
Oh, hey.
Was it midair?
Just let the tease lie, okay?
All right.
Just let the tease lie. All right, Roxanne, I got to talk about your body.
Oh, okay. I'll get my HR complaint ready.
I get
Long list today.
Well, no, it's not you specifically. No, you and your body fall into the category of a story that I have.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Me and my body both.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes. But I'll explain. So that's just a couple of items coming up. We are absolutely jammed. I haven't even scratched the surface of what's coming up when we start an hour and 20 minutes of nonstop MJ next. Don't move. Doesn't get any better than this next here on the MJ Morning Show. It is 7:25. Little programming note here on the award-winning MJ Morning Show. Dennis Phillips, the chief meteorologist, also known as Mr. Suspenders, will join us at 8:30 exactly. So I'll be phoning up Dennis Phillips after he had a very late night last night. Dennis will join us at 8:30 this morning, kind of a recap on Debbie. And we're still going to have effects through tomorrow. So we're not done yet. You're still going to have these bands, even though it should be, coming on shore sometime in the next, hour or so. So it's Hurricane Debbie now. And Debbie, it was going to hit about the Steenhatchee area, around the Big Bend.
Wasn't that the exact same spot that got hit last year?
You know what? These all run. I'm just hoping, folks, that this is our brush. You know, when Debbie was passing our latitude, if you just take kind of like center of the Tampa Bay area, mid Pinellas, if you look at downtown Tampa and draw a line straight out into the Gulf, at the closest point, the center of Debbie was about 70 miles off of the Pinellas coast. So you just take Madeira Beach, you take Reddington, Indian Rocks, and Debbie was about 70 miles out. But just look at how the bands and how large this system was, and look at the amount of rain we've gotten and some of the wind. Nothing major in my neighborhood in South Tampa. I had to dodge a couple of limbs down. There were a couple of significant limbs down on some of the roads. I was able to drive around them. A good deal of flooding because, I'm, right adjacent to Tampa Bay in South Tampa and in the Beach Park West Shore area. And some of the streets had some flooding. There was one street that I usually use to egress my neighborhood to then get onto Kennedy and then get onto the Howard Franklin Bridge. And one of the streets, I looked ahead. I'm like, I'm not going to drive through that. I'm not going to take a chance. So I put the car in reverse, and I had to take a different side street to get out of my neighborhood because of flooding. But as far as today, you're still going to have some potential significant rain. If you look at radar right now, you got some, heavy stuff rolling through parts of Pinellas and South Tampa. I mean, you have some of the heavy bands that are still rolling through as we speak. And you're going to have localized heavy rain all day long. You're still going to have some wind gusts up to 40 miles an hour in certain areas. And then tomorrow, we still have bands. We still have 3 to 6 inches of rain potentially today. So another 3 to 6 inches of rain today in certain areas. And then tomorrow, Tuesday, you're still going to have another 1 to 2 inches of rain. And then traffic is a biatch this morning with some major arteries all screwed up. You've got, again, I-75 southbound. They're closing it at Fowler. So if you're on I-75 southbound, you've got to get off at Fowler because a tractor trailer flew off into the Tampa Bypass Canal and was dangling. Some of the TV reports are saying that the cab of the tractor trailer was dangling over the edge of I-75 for 15 minutes and then snapped off into the water. We do not know the fate of the driver. I mean, I'm getting chills thinking about this.
I know.
I hope he got out, but we know that Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, FHP, Florida Wildlife, Hillsborough County Fire Department, the Sheriff's Office dive team, just a massive mess on I-75 southbound, just past Fowler at the Bypass Canal. They're making you get off at Fowler. So I would get off even earlier if you're on I-75 southbound to avoid just the mess. It's going to get all clogged up down at Fowler. It's already all jammed and backed up anyway, but get off as early as you can. Then you have the Sunshine Skyway closed both directions. Totally closed because of high winds. That happened at 10 o'clock last night. So the Skyway, I-275 southbound and northbound, Skyway from Manatee to Pinellas or Pinellas back to Manatee, closed. Skyway closed both directions, and it's going to be like that all morning long. They're thinking maybe after 10 o'clock, and we'll keep you abreast. And then the third serious issue is I-275 northbound in Pinellas County. You can't get on the Howard Franklin Bridge. If you're on 275 north in Pinellas, you have to exit at Roosevelt because the water is too high on the Howard Franklin Bridge. So, Fessa, bring up the traffic cam, would you please?
All right.
I mean, I noticed coming over this morning. I'm rolling over on 275 southbound Howard Franklin, and I saw no cars. I'm like, what is going on? And then I'm like, something's not right here. There's no traffic on the northbound side. I get off at 4th Street, the first exit after you get off of the Howard Franklin Bridge to head down to the studio here near Gandy and 4th, and I see a highway patrol. I see a tan and black. I see it blocking traffic and making people do the U-E on 4th Street, not allowing people to get on 4th Street. So if you need to get from Pinellas to Hillsborough, forget about 275 North right now. You got to use the Gandy or the Courtney Campbell or use Tampa Road. Figure it out. But 3 major freaking problems on big roads this morning. And then, of course, Dennis Phillips will join us at 8:30, so an hour from right now. 1 hour from right now, Dennis Phillips from ABC Action News, chief meteorologist, will join us here on the MJ Morning Show. And then I got Fester. Fester is sending me an email last night bitching about how Channel 10 CBS, how they broke into Big Brother because of tornado warnings. Oh, my God. Fester, what is wrong with you? If you've got a verified tornado, or if you have feedback coming from radar that shows rotation, and you've got people in the way of potential tornadic activity, and you're complaining about the TV weather folks on Channel 10 breaking in?
Put a little scroll on the bottom.
Oh, jeez.
That's what the Olympics did.
Big freaking... You know what?
Channel 8 didn't break into the Olympics.
You know what? That's problematic to me, to be quite honest.
What?
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah, when you haven't... And I noticed that because when there were the big weather alerts yesterday, I kind of flipped around. I was looking at the different channels. I would, check out Dennis, obviously. Dennis and Channel 28, our weather partner. I'd see what Delgado was doing on Fox. I would check out 10, and I'd go to Channel 8 to
see
see
what Bobby Deskins was doing over at Channel 10.
Busting into Big Brother.
Because I know. I was watching the whole thing thinking, get back to Big Brother. MJ, it was the new HOH show.
I don't care about freaking Big Brother.
He made his nominations.
A lot of people do care about Big Brother. I'll tell you, my sister is a Big Brother freak, like you, Fester. You guys should get on a text thread together.
Maybe they ought to have relations together. Is your sister married?
Yes, she's married, and Fester is married as well.
She's married to a man with 9 toes.
Yes, and so
that's right. The 9-toed husband.
Who has like a tie to your show in some way because he witnessed a car accident that one of your interns was in. Okay,
all right.
So, but back to the story of Big Brother. Yeah, I've got to get those facts straight before I start spewing them. But back to Big Brother.
Right.
She got me into it the week we were on break. She made me watch some of it, and it was pretty compelling when they kicked the first guy off, the guy with the googly eyes.
Good.
And then the crazy lady still on there?
Crazy lady Angela is still there.
Crazy
What do
Angela.
you mean the guy had googly eyes? Like the little black and white craft eyes you buy at Michael's and glue on a doll? What kind of googly eyes?
I really request that maybe this weekend you just have like a Big Brother binge party and take it as long as you can.
I have no interest in...
So get this. There's a young lady on the show, a woman on the show. Her name is Mackenzie. She goes by MJ. Just saying.
Okay. There's also a reporter on CNN that's MJ.
Okay, I'm just saying.
All right?
And also we have our guy Joseph from Tampa, who's still on the show.
Oh, that's right.
From Viper Video.
From Viper Video.
Oh, that's
on, was that on MLK?
So I'm rooting for Joseph to do really well.
I'm just watching it for Angela.
She's a nut.
Whoa.
And I got Bobby Deskins or Wagner, Dave Wagner. From the Channel 10 news desk, we have breaking weather update.
Were you throwing crap? Were you kicking your TV when they were breaking in?
Well, I didn't know, and I just learned this morning while you said it. They have to stay on the air the entire tornado watch?
I don't think they have to. It's policy. Folks, if you don't know this, most of the local channels, when the weather department breaks in at I know that Channel 13 does this, and I know that 28 does it.
Channel 10 does it too.
I guess Channel 10 does it as well.
Their commitment to weather.
Apparently, guess what? It could have been Helen Hunt and Twister wrecking a town, and Channel 8 would still have the Olympics on last night, apparently.
You don't want to miss that men's 100. That was something.
All right. So, Fester. Oh, so to answer your question, the local policy of most of the local weather departments on TV are that when a tornado warning is issued in the Tampa Bay area, they'll stay on the air and track it until that warning expires. So that's typically the policy with local TV weather. So, Fester, before we move on.
Because they just sat there. Bobby's like, okay, so that's it.
I kind of like it. When you flip around. I was watching Dennis last night.
Right.
I'd flip over to Paul for a second, back to Dennis, and those were the two that I were flipping between. And it's it's very conversational. It's like you're just kind of sitting at a table with a pal talking about, because it's not like the bam bam bam. During the 6 o'clock news, it becomes much more loose and conversational. Anyway, Fester, before I move on, Fester sends me this email last night at 10:02.
Don't read it.
I have a major issue with Channel 10 and their commitment to reporting about the effects of Debbie. They have interrupted over half of Big Brother. Dave Wagner and Bobby Deskins can suck it.
I asked you not to read it.
They just rambled on about the storm while the most important TV show of the week is airing.
I can't be the only one that's this upset.
I want to flatten their tires in the Channel 10 parking lot. What the hell are you writing me?
I was angry when I wrote it.
What are you writing? You're threatening vandalism on their car tires?
Yes.
What are you?
I don't know what they drive.
What are you doing?
Listen,
What's wrong with you?
I'm sure they're great guys, but man, pissed me off to no end.
They went back to programming after the new head of household made their nominations for eviction, and the final credits were rolling.
The final credits were rolling. I'm like, what? You couldn't have gone back 2 minutes earlier? You guys are crazy, Channel 10.
Oh, man.
They
Listen.
ruined it.
Oh, yeah.
We missed the whole first half of the HOH competition.
On the air, Channel 10 on the air, concerned about public safety and tornado warnings, and you're bitching because they interrupted your Big Brother.
Let me tell you something. When Channel 10 says news comes first, they mean it. Damn it.
Above all their better programming.
Is that their slogan?
I don't know. It's not news comes last. That's the channel I want to be watching.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
man.
news comes after the good show.
Oh, man.
Oh, speaking of shows on CBS.
Yeah.
I discovered a show that's been out for a season this weekend,
Yeah.
and the first person I thought of was Michelle.
Okay.
Have you seen Elsbeth?
I've never heard of that in my life.
It's worth watching.
It's really amazing. I used to know, I might not have watched it, but I pretty much knew what was going on ABC, CBS, Fox, and NBC. And these days, I know virtually nothing about the network shows because, I just don't watch them. I mean, it's, the streaming stuff on Netflix and on Max. We're watching House of the Dragon last night at 9 o'clock. Yeah.
I discovered this show, Elsbeth.
By the way, speaking of House of the Dragon.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Oh, God. What a colossal anticlimactic disappointment the season finale of House of the Dragon was.
I just don't understand how you can watch it when Game of Thrones was so good. How can you just kind of take a biche program is what it sounds like.
No. House of the Dragon's great. It prequels. So it happens.
Backstory.
I think it's a couple of 100 years before Game of Thrones.
So answer some questions.
And I'm not really into the whole medieval crap. That's one genre that I typically shy away from. But Michelle got me into Game of Thrones. We were a little late to the game because we had all kinds of friends saying, oh, man, you got to watch Game of Thrones. And we were a couple of years late getting into it. And then we binged it. We caught up because we have HBO and obviously the HBO Max app and now Max. And so we caught up and then, we kind of became hooked. That's like the only medieval stuff that I've given the time of day to, I think, during the course of my lifetime. Really.
Yeah. I'm not really into that genre, but yeah.
But those shows I do enjoy. And all I can say is that the season finale of House of the Dragon was just a letdown, anticlimactic turd. It was a very disappointing, ending or cliffhanger. It's like, oh, man. I was hoping for a giant dragon battle. Nope.
No giant dragon.
Nope.
Wow.
Sorry, I don't want to spoil anything here. Well, I probably just did but I'm sorry. It was anticlimactic.
We got really into it with the parties and the costumes. Game of Thrones, not House of Dragons. But when Game of Thrones was on, it was a weekly watch party.
I got some musical breaking news here on the MJ Morning Show. Or as I introduced this morning, I think that breaking news is getting old. You know, when you get used to something, it doesn't quite have the same impact. We become accustomed to it.
It's overused. Everything's breaking, especially on the cable news networks. Everything's breaking. Breaking news.
We become conditioned, and it doesn't have the impact anymore. I just thought of this. This is like 6 o'clock this morning when we were coming on the air. I decided that I'm changing breaking news to busting news. All right. So I think that some of the networks ought to pick this up from me. So instead of the big breaking news, busting news, B-U-S-T-I-N-G, busting news.
How about busty news? And it's just a segment of busting news just about boobs.
Whoa.
Or it's delivered by very busty women with the top of the boobs like pushed up and. Oh, I just saw a lightning hit.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I'm looking out the window next to you, and I just saw a really serious bolt of lightning.
Yeah, we heard it.
Which way am I facing here?
You are facing west.
Am I facing west?
Yes.
Yes, I am. Yeah. Behind me is, yes. So I'm facing west, and I just saw to the sort of the northwest of where I am, I just saw a real serious lightning bolt.
Thank you, Lewis.
Guess what? I just broke into MJ Morning Show programming with that lightning alert.
That was busty news.
It was busty.
Busted news.
Busty news. All right, so I do have some busting news from the musical front here on the MJ Morning Show. And what do you say we play the audio daily double game? And I tell you, Roxanne's been really good at this lately.
She is.
I mean, really. There have been a couple of examples in the last week or so where it's been music related, and I've played like the first blip of the first note of the song, and Roxanne has known what the band is or what the song is. So, Roxanne, with that, I'm going to give you a couple of blips here because I've got breaking news on a big band, and we play a lot of the music here on Q105. Do you know what this is?
Crazy?
Play it again.
What?
Play it again. Crazy? No? So wait, I'm sorry. I talked over it.
Play it again.
You ready?
Oh, I Dream On?
Well, how do you know that? How do you know? Well, listen.
What?
From just this?
Yeah, I can hear the voice.
You know what? I'm impressed.
Wow.
I am really impressed. So let me play a little bit more of that.
There's another diamond ring, and
that would be correct. It is Aerosmith. So I just wanted to give you just a little bit of a, and I thought I was gonna have to roll out more. I thought I was gonna have to play. Would you have known that? Would you have known if I just did? Would you have known that it is? Oh, that's the Run DMC version.
Yeah,
I would have guessed Run DMC.
Walk this way.
That's
Yeah.
Or what if I would have done this?
Is that Janie's Got a Gun?
Yeah, man.
Boy.
All right, so what about this one?
Do it again. Love in an Elevator?
No, that's the. That's
Okay.
more of. Now that's.
Oh.
Boy.
I can't think of the name of the song. What is it?
Ragdoll.
Oh, Ragdoll. That's
Yeah.
right. Okay.
So obviously we're talking about Aerosmith. That's a good song too.
She could hit the post on every one of these.
What about this one? Would you have known? Oh yeah, that's
Oh, yeah.
that's Dream On,
Dream On.
obviously. So And then here's Love in an Elevator. Let me give you a little snip of this.
Okay. See, but that did sound a little bit like that. The zip of it.
Yeah, you got more of a little keyboard, like a little. And then, would you have known this one?
Crying.
Kind of like the revolt.
Yes.
No, that's Angel.
Or Angel.
Yeah, that
Angel.
Sort of
Yes.
the reverse echo drums on the beginning of Angel.
A lot of their crap really sounds very similar.
What?
A lot of their stuff kind of sounds similar.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
I agree with Fester.
No,
Yeah.
there's different tonal.
Ah!
No.
I didn't say it's exactly the same. I said similar.
This is different. Wow, you forget how many hits they have.
Oh, listen, I'm only playing a frag. What
Yeah.
about
These
this
are the
one?
deep cuts.
What about this? Would you have known that one?
No, I don't know that one.
Oh, come on. That's one of the most recognizable.
Do it again.
Play.
Come on.
Is that Love in an Elevator?
No.
No,
What
I
is it?
already played Love in an Elevator. That's Love in an Elevator.
Okay.
Come
See,
on.
to Fester's point, they sound very similar.
No.
Play
it's-
it again. Play it a little longer.
Oh, come on. How do you not know from the original left channel? Come on.
Oh, the left channel. That gave it away. Oh, dude looks like a lady. Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
I got this.
Yes. Or I could have played the nuclear bomb on the asteroid. All right. I'm sorry to spoil that movie for anyone that hasn't seen it in the last 20 years. I apologize.
I don't want to miss a thing.
So why the hell am I doing this? This is really kind of big news. Aerosmith has canceled their final tour. Any remaining dates are done. This is, like I said, this is busting news. They are retiring effective immediately. It's kind of like my Instagram post from Grand Cayman a couple of days ago. All right, so, man, that got some people worked up, didn't it?
As it should have. You want people to have gotten worked up. You don't want to do a same.
It was only up there for a few minutes, and I understand I got a lot of phone calls going. All right, listen. It was a joke. I was, I was having such a good time. I want to retire and just scuba dive, nonstop. All right, so you got to hear this. Aerosmith is retiring effective immediately.
Just quitting right now. Go home, everybody.
Aerosmith says Steven Tyler's voice has been permanently damaged by a vocal cord injury last year, and they can no longer tour. Wow. Living on the Edge. I didn't have that one up there. I love that song, too. It's a good song. Yeah, so this came out Friday, announcing the cancellation of remaining dates on the tour. Now, we started running ads. We ran radio spots for Aerosmith appearing at the Amalie Arena next February. We started running commercials. Was it back in the late winter or early spring? I thought I remembered hearing spots in maybe February or March, like almost a year out.
Was this the Peace Out tour?
Yes. Peace out. They ran a ton of commercials. Peace out.
Valentine's Day.
Aerosmith. Yeah. So Friday, February 14th, we were supposed to have Aerosmith on the Peace Out tour. Bye-bye forever. Farewell. And that's not going to happen. I was absolutely going to go with that. Go to that with Michelle. We were absolutely going to that. I love Aerosmith. I love Steven Tyler's sound. But apparently his vocal cords are so damaged he can't recover. I mean, that's got to be difficult. I feel bad.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
So he suffered a vocal cord, is what they say.
Yeah, let me read the statement. This is a statement from the band.
The whole statement, the whole 6 paragraphs?
It's 14 pages. All right, here we
Yeah,
go.
it's
No, I'm kidding.
It's not
All right,
that
here's an excerpt. He has spent months tirelessly working on getting his voice to where it was before his injury. We've seen him struggling despite having the best medical team by his side. Sadly, it is clear that a full recovery from his vocal injury is not possible. This is a statement from the band. We have made a heartbreaking and difficult but necessary decision, as a band of brothers to retire from touring stage. Or to retire from the touring stage. Yeah, so Tyler announced that he injured his vocal cords back in September
How?
at a peace out farewell tour stop. Yeah, he said in an Instagram statement at the time that the injury caused bleeding, but that he hoped the band would be back after postponing a few shows.
Okay, but how?
I don't know.
Did he sing
So-
so aggressively that he blew
Okay,
out a tire?
I don't know if he did one too many. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. If his voice box was a car, it would be a sports car that he's revving the engine all the time, and you could see where something would blow. But I'm reading a list of laryngeal fracture causes, and it's like motor vehicle accidents, assault.
Hey, maybe he got
falls.
maybe he got throat chopped.
Yeah.
Maybe. Oh, accidental strangulation.
Maybe that happened to him too.
Maybe someone said, "Hey, I'm going to punch you in the throat." Maybe they did. I don't know.
Maybe he's into some, Dom role play and he gets strangled a little bit, and
Took it
What do
a
you
little
say?
too far.
Like a Kurt Hutchins, like a Michael Hutchins closet deal.
all I gotta say is you don't have to look too far under
Wasn't that David Carradine as well?
think so.
Yeah, that'll shut you down.
It's a hobby for some.
You don't have to look too far under the surface of that guy to find some pretty sick stories.
Oh yeah. Well, I think he's written about most, a lot of them at
He's
least.
talked about it, but he's like, okay.
Anyway, if you were planning on seeing Aerosmith in February, downtown Tampa, Amalie Arena, that's been canceled, and it is done. Come on, I hope that somehow we can. The doctors must have told them that there is nothing to be done. But then again, you've got those cases where you'll hear that the loved one will never come out of a coma or they'll never recover, and then they miraculously recover. Maybe there's a Steven Tyler miracle.
All right, he's not in a coma ready to die.
Are there any faith healers on TV still that slam you in the head and then chuck your walker into the crowd?
I mean, they're out there.
Maybe we ought to send Steven Tyler to one of those bozos.
He's a 76-year-old man who cannot do a 3.5-hour concert 4 times a week anymore.
I don't like you, but I love you. Sing.
Andrew. There we go. Andrew with a selection of Steven Tyler.
I mean, they're not saying he's like at the nursing home. He's 76. A concert's a lot of work.
That's amazing. I mean, when you think about it, 76 years old. I had a buddy of mine, Dom. Buddy of mine, Dom, was out in Hawaii. He was in Maui. And Dom and his wife, Jen, were at the Maui airport getting ready to fly back from Hawaii back to the mainland. And Steven Tyler was in the waiting area at the gate. And my friend, who's been in radio for years, walked up to him and he said Steven Tyler was the nicest, took pictures.
That's cool.
I've always heard, I've met Steven Tyler on a couple of occasions over the years, and he's always been nice. But I met him in professional environments. But I hear that people that meet him just randomly in public, and this was a story that I had firsthand from a very good friend of mine, how nice Steven Tyler was sitting at the gate at the Maui airport a couple of years back.
I saw some random posts on IG of people taking pictures with Steven Tyler, and everyone had glowing things to say about him. His fan interaction is great. Vince McJagger, 81.
That's unbelievable.
So I follow this guy online that gives like rock news and rock trivia stuff.
Yeah.
And he pointed out that Steven Tyler is one of the only aging rockers that really sounds great until the end.
I just got a text from Chief of Police Lee Burkhoff, City of Tampa.
Oh, was he going to the concert?
No, I just got it. I just checked my phone. So Chief of Police Lee Burkhoff, TPD, just sent me a text. MJ, if you don't mind, could you please remind people not to drive in standing water? And a reminder that Bayshore is shut down due to the storm surge, as well as many other streets.
Yeah, we're talking about the interstates, but of course Bayshore is shut down as well. Chief's right.
So, Chief, yep, I just gave you a mention on that. Absolutely.
Okay, MJ, I don't know if you're aware of this,
What's that?
but Roxanne Wilder has an entire list of things. Is it what to not do
Oh, yeah.
in the storm?
Do's and don'ts, baby.
She
Both of them.
said, I have a hot storm list of what not to do.
All right.
And today is as appropriate a day as any.
Then I got to ask you about your body.
Oh, yeah, you teased
and,
that.
And you said that you
Teased my body.
Yeah, you said you have your HR complaint is ready to go.
Ready to go.
Well, she's still building it for today.
Right. All right. So what do you have? This is what, storm related? Or
Yeah,
what?
because I did a post for MJMorningshow.com.
Yep.
You can check that out. Little tips if you do have to be on the road, but like Chief Burkhoff said, you don't want. First thing, you don't want to drive through water that is more than 6 inches deep. That's hard to gauge when you're driving.
Are you
but
supposed to carry a tape measure in your car, and then
Yes,
are you supposed to get out of your vehicle?
Well, stop.
Just and stick your stick in the water. Is
We're
that?
good.
I get a measurement. So what's the number?
The number is 6 inches.
Okay.
But you know, that's like midway up your tires if you're trying to gauge.
Yeah, I can measure that.
Okay.
All right.
Then you don't want to overtake over other vehicles. It sounds like common sense,
And if you
but
don't
boy,
have a tape measure, some guys might be able to get a.
I
All right. Anyway, go ahead.
I'll come really close.
you don't want to overtake other vehicles. This sounds like common sense, right? But wow, people were overtaking me on the Howard Franklin Bridge this morning,
Right.
and a lot of other drivers who were just kind of driving the
Oh,
speed
hey, I
limit.
just got a letter. The office is closed today.
Who's
Our
office?
office,
This
guys.
office? What the
yeah,
hell are we doing here?
I just got at 7:16. Well, this came out a while ago. 7:16 this morning. Ron DeCastro, and just ask Froggy about that. Ron DeCastro, our market manager, sent out a note: office closed for non-essential personnel. Team, I've decided to close the office today for non-essential personnel. Sales and business will work from home today. Programming, contact your PD, that's program director, and a work plan with them if you have any question. But who's here? Who is here working and entertaining the masses? The MJ Morning Show. All right, back over to your tips.
Yes, we're dedicated. Okay, seems self-explanatory, but you don't want to speed. You're in just a half inch of flowing water, you can lose control of your car, and you don't want to overtake other vehicles.
You know
like
what
I
that's
just said.
called, right?
Yes, it's called. Oh, I thought of it this morning. I was actually like, slow down, Roxanne. You
Come
don't
on,
want to.
what happens?
You don't want to hang glide.
Come
you
on.
don't want to.
It's not called hang gliding.
What is it? You don't want to
Come
super
on.
glide. You
No,
don't want
it's not hang glide or
backward
su-
skate. What
No,
the heck
it's
is
not
it?
backward skate. What happens when you're driving your car and your tires hit water and your car veers? What is that called?
OS.
No.
What?
Oh crap!
OS.
Oh crap! No, what is it? I thought of it this morning. You don't want to something glide.
No, not
Hydroplane. Hydroplane.
There you go.
There we go.
Hydro.
job.
There you go. The word was hydroplane.
Yeah, we got to it
Yes.
eventually.
Is there anything else?
A couple other things.
All
You want to turn your hazard lights on, turn the air conditioner
No,
off.
you don't
That's what
turn.
it says here.
No, you don't turn your hazard.
If you're in trouble, turn your hazard lights
if
on.
you're
In severe weather conditions, does improve
no,
visibility.
No, you don't. It is illegal. You're not.
Not anymore.
You're not supposed.
Not
to.
anymore.
What?
I think like last year.
Really?
I think last year the hazard law in
Why
Florida
don't
changed.
why don't you look that up for me?
All right.
All right, because I had always heard that.
Have Chief Burkott text back. He knows off the top of his head.
I've always heard, and you always see the folks that when it's like raining heavy out, you're on the interstate and it's raining heavy, and you got, it's usually like a 78-year-old guy that puts the hazard lights on. So that used to be illegal.
It says that it makes your presence known to other drivers and can protect you from flood dangers and check the water levels. But this I did source these tips from crazykookiflooddriver.com.
Is that really the website?
No.
Yeah, I don't know if you're. I don't know if you're allowed to turn your hazard lights on in Florida while you're driving.
Here, Florida law
Hold
now
on.
allows you.
Okay, hold on. All right, so I stand corrected. This was last August.
This is from some Orlando station. What, Channel 6 in Orlando?
All right, Florida law now allows you to drive with hazard lights flashing. Here's why you shouldn't. Oh, they've got some guy named Trooper Steve in Orlando. All right, so Trooper Steve is a regular on Channel 6 in Orlando.
That's what we need.
Yeah,
Just
and
call him Trooper somebody.
yeah.
Channel 6 safety expert Trooper Steve answers viewers' questions about the new rules.
I want Trooper Barry.
Yeah.
Trooper Jim. Trooper Chet.
Trooper Chet.
Yeah, Trooper Chet.
There's a Florida law now allows drivers in severe weather to activate their hazard lights.
Right. All right.
So-
So that changed that just a year ago. But before it was illegal to be like tooling down 275 with your hazard lights on because you thought that the rain was a little heavy. But now I guess you can do it.
Yeah.
Trooper
And-
Steve goes on to say, I can almost guarantee that these dumbass lawmakers have never enforced traffic laws.
Stop. Let me read this normally.
Okay, he doesn't say calm dumbass.
He says, I can almost guarantee you these lawmakers have never enforced traffic laws or investigated anything on our roadways. When you activate your hazard lights, you indicate to other drivers there's something wrong, possibly creating a dangerous situation. If you feel obligated during a storm to activate your hazard lights, then maybe you should find yourself a parking lot or a gas station to ride out the storm. So here's Trooper Steve saying that it's still a bad idea to put on your hazard lights, even though the Florida legislature apparently approved it and the governor signed it last year.
Ooh, you can send questions to Ask Trooper Steve at WKMG.com.
Yeah, that's a TV station in Orlando.
Great.
All
Ask him a
right,
question.
Roxanne.
Yes. Keep your AC off.
You're still.
I thought you wanted me to go
You're still
through
on
what
these
to-
damn tips.
Why would you keep your AC off? Your
Because
windows are rolled up. It's hot in
water
your
can
car.
damage the fan in the engine compartment. I guess this is once you're in that deep water.
Look out the window. We have some driving freaking rain right now in Pinellas. So
I didn't have- yeah.
We're at Gandy and 4th, and we have torrential driving rain right now in our office park.
I got about 2 inches of rain inside my Cadillac.
Yeah, well, close your windows.
Well, it's flooded. It had leaks from the windshield.
So I'm looking at, you're going to have some heavy bands again, but I'm looking at spots right now. I'm looking at my radar app, which is Radar Scope. People always say, hey, MJ, you talk about this app. Yeah, I like Radar Scope. Get it in the App Store or your Play Store. I actually spend like $10 a year for the enhanced version, but there is a free version. I like Radar Scope the best. And I'm looking now at spots like right over my house in South Tampa. It's like red right now. It's red and orange. But if you look at West Chase, it's like nothing. West Chase, look at this. Look at that big.
Yeah.
In West Chase, there's nothing right now. It's just a big open black spot. Nothing going on in West Chase. But then you go just down to Town and Country, and Town and Country is riddled with orange and red blotches, meaning heavy, 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 heavy rain. So, again, you got heavy bands that are going through a lot of Pinellas right now is getting whacked. But you have a stretch, like if you look right in the middle, if you look at like South High Point, Kenneth City and a little bit north and to the west, there's a whole big swath in the middle of Pinellas where there's nothing. And then you go a couple of miles in either direction and it's torrential. So again, all day long, you're going to have these bands, and we're also going to continue to have the bands tomorrow as well. All right, back over to my little item here, which I teased earlier, that I want to ask Roxanne about her body. And this is not an HR complaint. You fit the profile. First of all, you're a woman.
Hold on. Let's do a gender test on that. Just like the Olympics.
Let's do an Olympic boxing gender test.
Okay,
Yeah,
she
let's-
passes.
All right.
All right. Barely, but she passes.
barely.
So, Roxanne, you are a woman. You're also a white woman. So this is why I'm kind of gearing this. You're the only woman on the show.
It's one of the
You're
whitest women I know.
profiling.
And you are a white woman. And the reason why I'm asking you this question, I'm not trying to sound like creepy at all.
Okay.
I have an item I saw over the weekend, and the headline was "White Women Less Confident About Their Bodies Than Other Women," according to research. So other ethnicities are not as self-conscious about their bodies. White women have the most self-consciousness of all the ethnicities.
I think Roxanne might be the wrong white woman to ask.
Why is that?
Yeah, why?
I think we should line up a bunch of 300-pound white women
What do you t-
and then ask them of all different races.
Look, hold on. Listen. White women are less confident about their bodies than women from other cultures. Researchers have found that there's greater media pressure for white women, or there's a perception that white women feel there's more pressure to be in shape or look a certain way than other women, like black women, Asian women. This is a study which was conducted by Durham University psychologists. They looked at the impacts of age and socio-cultural pressures on body appreciation. And it turns out that it's white women that have the biggest problems with their bodies, and they're the most susceptible to the world around us and the pressures for body image.
You know, it's funny. Last night, Daviana, this just happened. She was walking around the house and she pulled her underwear up in her butt and is like,
What?
You know, like,
this is like, I
Yeah,
don't want to
she's
hear
4.
about your 5-year-old kid
well,
pulling
okay.
up underwear in her butt.
I'm sorry.
What are you doing?
So she was like, look at me. I'm mom and so-and-so. And she named my other friend. She's like, this is how mom and Jill, we'll call her Jill. This is how mom and Jill wear their bathing suits.
Thong bikinis.
I don't have a thong,
Oh,
but
you're a butt flosser, I've heard.
No, not at this stage in my life. I'm really not. I can promise you that.
You never know, but right now, not really.
But, you know, it just is the cut that, you know, if you wear a bikini, the cut is usually up your butt a little bit more than a traditional, like a kid's cut. It covers their cheeks as it should. So she's making fun of me. And I was just like, well, the husbands like it. You know, that's why, like, I'm trying to reference, like, dad likes me in that bathing suit. So that's fine. So to answer your question, I still wear bathing suits like that. And I'm okay with, I don't care. Like, I don't care.
I can tell you with 100% certainty, MJ, the story you just read is 100% correct. And my proof is a Carnival cruise. That's all I'm going to say. If you've ever been on a Carnival cruise, you know what I'm talking about. And you know that story is true.
Oh, man.
Every ethnicity you can possibly imagine having the time of their lives in the skimpiest clothes, every size the Lord has created.
But you think that the white women are more...
I'm saying...
self-conscious?
I'm just saying I can see facts in that story. Only frame of reference, Carnival cruise.
Let me...
Take a Carnival cruise.
Yes,
Okay.
Roxanne. I was going to do a segue there. But
okay, I got to
ahead.
tell you. Let me tell you who trumps all of this. You want to talk about a culture with attitude about their bodies?
Eskimos. Oh, man. They don't give a bleep.
Well, Eskimos and Italians. Oh my gosh! You go to Capri, the beach there.
That would be Capri.
Capri, and I'm telling you, they just have like this. The women, they have this jiggle to them that is super sexy and confident, and they like. I'm like, how do you walk and have your boobs jiggle like that? Like, it doesn't matter what size they are, and then it doesn't matter if they have cellulite. What they are on the beach, everything is available to be seen.
There you
Everything is at the buffet.
Okay, here we go. Now
Do it.
Now I will segue.
Quite the buffet.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your first officer speaking. If you take a look out the left side of the aircraft right now, you'll see your captain being led away in handcuffs.
While still at the gate?
Yes. Yes.
What do they do? Do they have a backup pilot ready to go?
No, the flight was delayed. Seriously, the captain on a Frontier Airlines flight was hauled out of the cockpit in handcuffs, and passengers, seriously, on the left side of the aircraft, could see them bringing the captain down the stairs and onto the ramp. And the captain for a Frontier Airlines flight arrested.
Where did this happen?
Listen to this. Bush Continental in Houston. A Frontier Airlines crew member was arrested at George Bush Intercontinental Airport. Causing the cancellation. They canceled the flight. The flight was canceled. Flight 3195 to Dallas-Fort Worth from Houston was canceled. The pilot was arrested According to the Houston Police Department, officers informed by DFW law enforcement boarded the aircraft around 4 p.m. and identified the pilot as Seymour Walker, 45 years old, who was wanted on an assault family violence warrant issued by the DFW International Airport Department of Public Safety. Walker was taken into custody without incident before passengers began boarding. All right, so they're in and there's video. Andrew, see if you can. I meant to send you the audio on this. See if you can find it. There's video, and people are in the terminal. People are in the gate area looking out, and they're watching the pilot being led down the stairs. You know, from the jetway, you've got the stairway, which you can walk down to. That's where the pilots walk down to do a walk around and check out the airplane. And the people at the gate are looking out, and their pilot in a pilot's uniform on Frontier is being led down the stairs in handcuffs. His hands are behind his back. The guy's cuffed.
Oh my God! Look at him.
Yeah, I don't know if this.
There he is, big fat pilot.
Oh yeah, and he's being led down the stairs by 3 airport police officers. Yeah, I don't know. Let me see if there's audio. Let me click on the clip that you have. Yeah, no, that's just USA Today music. But there's audio of whoever filmed this originally. I think they were narrating like our pilot's getting arrested right now.
Usually it's not a pilot.
Oh yeah, the pilot getting arrested because of some kind of domestic violence, some kind of battery warrant.
A warrant.
That'll screw up your day. Frontier Airlines confirmed that on August 1, a crew member was taken into custody by officers at IAH in Houston. The incident happened just before the start of boarding for Flight 3195, was scheduled to travel from Houston to Dallas-Fort Worth. Due to the absence of an immediate replacement crew member, Frontier Airlines canceled the flight. Passengers affected by the cancellation were given several options, including a full refund, flight credit, or reaccommodation on the next available Frontier flight later that evening. That sucks. Additionally, the airline provided a $100 flight voucher and overnight hotel accommodations as necessary. The pilot bonded out of jail.
So he was able to fly the next day?
No. So I don't know what you do. I mean, if his pilot skills were good, I don't know what the rules and regulations at Frontier are if you're arrested for a non-aircraft related incident.
Is he the only 45-year-old Seymour in the country?
Seymour. I had an Uncle Seymour who would be 149 right now.
I mean, I have to say, it's an old person.
Yeah, I had a great uncle. So it was my grandmother's brother was Seymour. He was great, by the way. He died when I was, I think, 9 or 10. He was like 80 years old back then.
Yeah.
So seriously, he'd be like 130 today. But his name was Seymour. Yeah.
I just Googled Seymour the Walrus because I'm like, why is that in my? Isn't that in you guys' head? Like Seymour the Walrus?
I've never heard of Seymour the Walrus.
Well, this is odd.
Fester and I haven't.
Yeah, Fester, look at my computer. I Google Seymour the Walrus, and Frontier Airlines comes up.
Oh, because Frontier has all the animals on their tail.
Yeah. Okay, and it's one of their they've got a Seymour the Walrus mascot, I suppose.
Okay, so on the
they've got they've got Pervy the possum.
Okay, it's not Pervy, but every Frontier Airlines has a different animal on the tail.
Oh yeah, kids love those. There's like a big buzz on on
an Airbus A321,
right,
is Seymour the Walrus.
Yeah,
and if you look at the pilot Seymour, he looks like
very
a walrus.
Very similar,
very large man.
Yep, very very. Hey, Dennis Phillips is going to join us in 15 minutes.
Yes.
We will call Dennis Phillips, chief meteorologist at ABC Action News. Dennis will give us the latest on what the hell's going on. Can you bring up the I got it right here. Let me bring up the 8 o'clock advisory. So landfall should be about now. Let me just bring up the hurricane track. Here we are. Let me just refresh this. So obviously well past our latitude, but we're going to have these bands. We just had driving torrential rain here in St.
Everywhere.
It's well, no,
Not everywhere this second, but everywhere today.
Well, but you have some of those grooves where like there's no rain because of the way that the bands operate. All right, so the latest here, I've got the 8 a.m. intermediate advisory, still Hurricane Debbie, and Hurricane Debbie is now at 75 miles an hour, so just a Category 1 hurricane, and Debbie has made landfall, looks like around Steinhatchee. So Hurricane Debbie is on, and the next advisory will probably be downgraded to a tropical storm. So it should get below 74 miles an hour. Dennis Phillips going to join us in minutes. You know, around the Tampa Bay area, we had a whole bunch of tornado warnings and watches. Yesterday and today, some of the tornado warnings continue. We've got one in Polk County right now, which will be around till 8:33 this morning. So obviously be careful. We've had, localized flooding in a lot of places, trees down, wires down. Remarkably, though, I think the bulk of the power in the entire Tampa Bay area really, stayed on. We didn't even have a glitch. We didn't even have a flicker at my house in South Tampa. So thanks to Tico for that. However, about 3 weeks ago, we did have a branch fall on a line and knock out power to our neighbor for about 12 minutes.
Well, 12 minutes is doable.
That was just, I think, a regular rainstorm, just a little regular rain. So you never know. I'm just hoping, and we'll talk to Dennis about this in about 14 minutes. I just hope that that's our brush with tropical activity for the season. But, as Dennis is going to tell us, that the tropics are just getting wound up now. They're just starting to crank them out off the west coast of Africa.
Last year, Steinhatchee. Also, that's where Hurricane Idalia went.
Oh, Idalia.
So they got last year's storm, and they're getting already hit with a Category 1 this year.
Yeah, kind of sucks.
Kind
All
of.
right. I just hope that that's our brush. At the closest, the eye of Debbie was about 70 miles off the coast of Pinellas, off, Reddington, Madeira, Clearwater Beach. And, you can see that we still had, some wind and a crap load of rain. And that thing was 70 miles offshore, at least the center. But the bands, were covering the whole state at times. So, all right, moving along. Let me try to squeeze in as much as I can before we get to Dennis in just a few minutes here. So, Fester, you sent this to me, and of course you did.
I did?
Mm-hmm.
Diners are shocked at the higher prices at Denny's.
You know what? I haven't been to Denny's in a while.
Yeah, either have I.
And I've nothing against them. But wow, that's a lot of money for a breakfast.
Yeah,
At a Denny's.
I tell you what, speaking of breakfast, I saw some pictures on my Instagram yesterday of pancakes and breakfast at the Boozy Pig on Cypress.
Did it look good?
Oh my
So
God,
good.
did that food look fantastic?
So good.
Tell you, that Cuban sandwich they have at the Boozy Pig is off the chain. That's crazy good. Anyway, so
I mean, it's their biggest breakfast. Like, what is it called? Like the lumberjack or something?
a Reddit user posted the cost of the lumberjack slam at Denny's, shocked him, posted a picture of a menu on the inflation subreddit group showing the lumberjack slam at one Denny's location was $17.99.
Whoa.
I mean, I'm on Denny's page right now.
What do you get with that? What do you get, like
The waitress sits on your lap.
you get a logging truck with that, with the
Right?
lumberjack slam? What do you for
Jeez.
$17.99? Here it is. Comes with buttermilk pancakes, grilled ham, bacon strips, all pork sausage links, 2 fresh eggs made to order, hash browns, and white toast. $18.
That seems really high.
Yeah, the menu noted that for an additional $3.09, a diner can upgrade the pancakes to the lumberjack slam to a choice of different premium pancake varieties. So that means you could take this thing up to $21 if you upgrade the pancakes.
On their website, it's listed at $16.29. So
Well, it depends. So Denny's prices vary by region.
Sure, that makes sense.
So this particular Reddit, their lumberjack slam was $17.99, and out our window here.
But MJ, I'm looking at this.
Yeah.
This is 2 pieces of bread, 2 eggs, a couple of pieces of processed meat, 4 ounces of potato, and a couple of pancakes.
Right. So it's going to vary depending on what. Listen, cost of doing business is higher in obviously certain parts of the country
Still.
than other places. Hey, speaking of lightning, that was a hiccup. Speaking of lightning, we were knocked off the air. All of the Beasley stations on Friday afternoon at about 6:25, 6:20.
Oh, really?
Last Friday, every Beasley station was knocked off the air for a little less than an hour because apparently lightning struck our big radio tower in the back. And then the lightning bolt. The lightning bolt hit our tower and then shot into the building, and apparently it fried all kinds of equipment. And Chris, our engineer, rushed here, got the stations back on the air pretty quickly, and then was here all day yesterday, like patching stuff and trying to figure out. But we have stuff that's like burned out. We have stuff that Chris, our engineer, when he got to the radio station on Friday late afternoon, early evening, that he walked into like the equipment room and there was smoke coming out of crap. So we had,
For real?
For real. Yes, we were. Every one of our stations was off the air for like a little less than an hour on Friday afternoon. We took a lightning strike to the tower out back.
God bless Chris. What would you do, Fester, if that was your job?
And-
I would just come here and go,
Like,
I quit.
I quit.
I
I'm
can't
outta
do
here."
it.
Yeah.
Did you hear what Max had to say about it, our other engineer?
Well, Max was on a cruise, but
Yeah.
Max just came back this weekend. So Max is back now.
Welcome back, Max.
Great
Yeah.
weekend for a cruise. This last couple of days must have sucked.
Yeah, big, tropical activity, and you're out on a cruise.
Oh, man.
What was that like? Max was probably. Oh, hang on a minute. We have audio of Max. Max sent us an audio clip of him on the cruise coming into port here in Tampa. There we go. That's audio of Max.
Oh, man.
Yeah. 8:23 at the MJ Morning Show. I saw the coolest thing.
Okay, this better be cool.
This is really cool. What is believed now to be the oldest message in a bottle has been found.
All right.
You know, we found one at my house. We found a message in a bottle, and I'm trying to remember. I think it was fairly recent and fairly local, but I'm trying to remember the details. I don't know. Hang on, let me call Michelle quickly if she remembers.
How do they know this is the oldest one? Was it written in cuneiform?
Oh, crap. Our phones are dead.
Are you serious?
Hey, did anyone check our phones?
We haven't taken any calls today.
Ooh, that doesn't
Oh,
sound good.
that's our phone.
We haven't taken any calls all weekend.
Son of a...
You mean Saturday night's not a request party?
Oh, my God. All of our phones are dead. Hang on a minute.
Is this the first time we've gone to phones today?
Yeah, all phones are dead. Yep, I have not gone to phones yet.
You know,
Oh, this sucks.
I picked up a couple of ringing lines earlier,
Oh,
and there
folks,
was nobody there.
This is our phones.
Hold on, Andrew's coming over. Is there
do we-
something technical going on?
Do we need to unplug this thing and maybe plug it back in? Hang on, let me reboot the phone.
Okay, very technical talk
Did
here.
our phones get blown up did no one check our phone lines?
MJ Morning Show Tech Talk here. We got
hang on a
MJ Commando over there.
Listen, I got to call Dennis as well.
Unplug it.
Oh, that's important. Okay, you're going to have to do a cell phone.
I might have to hold my
Yeah.
freaking cell phone to the microphone. Hang on, the phone system's booted back up. Hopefully it'll work. Hang on. No, we're dead. Oh, that sucks.
Oh, we had a great prize for caller number 40.
Oh, man.
I'm kidding. We didn't have anything.
Oh, can you please send a message?
In a bottle.
You know what? I didn't test the phones this morning. We've been going. We haven't taken calls.
Whenever
I was going to take phone calls earlier this morning and have people call in. Oh, that's hold on a minute. Hello. Yeah, see, I can pick it up. I see the phones are ringing, but when I pick them up live on the air, I get nothing. Oh, jeez, that sucks.
Whenever I think of dead phone lines, I think of like a haunted or like a horror movie, and we can't get out. We can't dial out. The phone lines are dead.
Oh my God! When I think of a horror movie,
Yeah.
I think of this job sometimes.
Oh man, yeah. Andrew, can you please
Slashers
actually
gonna come through
call?
here.
Just call. Call, don't text. Call. Call Max or call Chris right now. Yeah, our phones are dead. That
Oh, no.
that sucks.
You got to figure after 6 o'clock on a Friday, not that many calls at a radio station.
Yeah. Well,
Nobody
especially these days
Yeah,
in
right?
the state of the radio business. You know. All right, so where was? Oh, the message. I was going to call Michelle.
Message in a bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a message in a bottle show up in my backyard because we live on Tampa Bay. This is I don't know how many years ago was that. And I'm trying to remember. Let me try Michelle on my cell.
try it on
And
the cell
yeah,
phone.
let me do that. Let me call the home. Calling my home line. You know, it sounds actually fairly decent when I do this. It's not terrible sounding when I hold my cell phone
No.
to the microphone.
Hello.
Hey, sweetie, I'm calling you on the cell because our phone system is broken.
So I hear.
Yeah. Oh, so do you remember the message in the bottle we found? Do you remember any details about that?
No.
But you remember we found one.
Yeah, it came up and the kids were all excited, and yeah, I don't remember what was written in it though.
All right.
Like a kid's message or something.
Did we ever track down the person that sent the bottle?
I don't think so.
Did we keep it or throw? I thought we ascertained that it was a fairly recent and a fairly close message in a bottle. Did I put it back in the bottle and throw it back into Tampa Bay?
I think you did because I think that's what it asked you to do.
Yeah. I think I did. All right. I'll talk to you in a bit.
Okay, bye.
All right. I'm gonna have to call Dennis Phillips on my cell phone and hold it up to the microphone.
All
That's
right.
some high tech stuff around here. Anyway, the reason why I'm bringing up message in a bottle is this is a cool story, and you know, with all the what is that now?
I hear a buzz.
Is the phone line still?
I don't know. Now the phones are just making all kinds of crazy noises over here.
Pull it down.
You know what happens when a radio station gets hit by lightning? You have little time bombs that you find for like days down the road of, you know, crap that's broken. So, hopefully we sound the same. Hopefully, like, our processing and, you know, all the equipment wasn't, seriously, damaged.
Yeah.
Anyway, so with the Gulf all churned up, I mean, hey, maybe start popping up on, and all the flooding, maybe crap will be pushed up. If you see a bottle that's been pushed in from the water, check it. Maybe it's a message in a bottle. The reason why I'm bringing this up is, man, this is cool. A woman in Ocean City, New Jersey, found what is now believed the oldest message in a bottle ever. Amy Murphy, 49 years old, was strolling through Corson's Inlet State Park in Ocean City, New Jersey, and found an antiquated green cork bottle containing a business card from 1876 and a handwritten note. She believes the bottle, which bears the words Bar and Brother Philadelphia, a business from the mid-1800s, was tossed into the water 146 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my God. That is nuts. From 1876, we're talking about... Oh, man. I mean, that's cool to me. Messages in bottles, man. That is.
Yeah.
Tell you what. I mean, Roxanne, have you ever found? Have you ever found?
No,
one?
but I shared a very interesting message in a bottle story on the show.
All right. Now, if you heard me call Michelle a moment ago, we found one some years ago, right on Tampa Bay. Fester, have you ever found a?
No, I
Come on,
haven't.
you've never found?
No,
Oh, that'd be exciting for your kids, Hadley and Hudson, to find. I mean, that would be Hey, Andrew, have you ever found a? No, Andrew's never found a message in the. If the phones worked, I could go to phones and I could. Hold on a minute. Hang on. Andrew's saying maybe.
Do they work?
Yes!
Oh,
Oh,
thank
my
God,
God,
Andrew.
the phones have been rebooted. All right. So, I don't know. Maybe I should have listeners call in and ask them if they ever found a...
All right. Okay.
I just find I find it so cool when you're talking about a...
Oh my God!
What?
I love you, but if you play that again, I'm going to punch you in the face.
And I don't even think you find it cool as much as you like playing that.
Stop! Oh my God! You have ruined the song for me. Stop!
Yeah.
Oh!
I want to see if you'll really punch me in the face.
You want to find out?
No, I don't.
You want a fafo?
No, I don't. Oh,
Fafo Olympics?
F around and find
Yeah,
out.
you want a fafo with me?
What a fafo. All right, it's 8:31 at the MJ Morning Show. I think I can call Dennis now on our regular phone lines.
No, why don't you contact him through a message in a bottle?
Oh, that's right. I'll drop it into Tampa Bay. Let me call Dennis quickly and get the latest, get kind of a follow-up here. Dennis Phillips, ABC Action News Chief Meteorologist, 727, calling him at his home in Palm Harbor. I wonder if he has a rain gauge at his house.
You know what? I bet you he does. I bet you he does.
Hello? Oh,
He just hung up on you.
hello? No, it's...
I'm here.
Oh, you're there. Oh, you're there. Hey, Dennis, I'm glad you're there. It didn't even ring. Now, we're having phone problems because, believe it or not, you know what havoc can be wreaked like when a radio or TV station antenna gets struck by lightning?
Did that happen to you guys?
Yeah.
yeah.
So on Friday afternoon, about 6:20 p.m. on Friday, all the Beasley stations were knocked off the air for about an hour because we took a lightning hit to the transmission tower, which that's not even like the broadcast tower. We have a tower behind our studios that sends the signal to all of our different radio stations like Wild and Maxima and WQYK and The Shark and Q105. And that tower behind us is like a couple of 100 feet high, took a hit, and then the lightning just traveled into the building. And like the engineers rolled in, and there was smoke coming out of equipment in like the rack room.
Wow. I mean, isn't the tower grounded or just it didn't work?
Well, guess what I found out? We have a ground problem with the tower.
Well, duh.
Exactly. Duh. All right.
Wow.
So Dennis, we have Hurricane Debbie made landfall. About what time? And was it at Steenhatchee again?
Yeah. Yeah, it was about 7 o'clock, 5 miles west of Steenhatchee. And I think we were talking about this on Friday. Maybe not. I can't remember. I was talking to somebody with it. But back in 2012.
Hey, Dennis,
Debbie,
let me call you right back because this line has a little bit of a funk to it. Let me call you right back.
Bye-bye.
All right. Let me see if I can get a better line here.
Yeah, he
Hold on.
sounded a little warbly.
Let me call Dennis again. Let me see if I can get a better line because I'm a quality stickler. We have noise on the line, though.
We have static.
Yeah, a little bit of static. All right, hello?
So staticky?
Yeah, you know what? It's a little staticky, but we'll have to do with it. I think that we do have some damage to our phone lines, but at least you're on the air. All right, so give us the lowdown.
Yeah, about 5 miles west of Steenhatchee. And like I was saying, back in 2012, Debbie, tropical storm, hurricane, tropical storm, it was Debbie, made landfall in the exact same spot and did a lot of flooding and a lot of damage. So same storm, same location 12 years earlier. And, I mean, all weekend, I mean, I think it was a good test run for a lot of people who had never been through this before. You know, I mean, you always get a lot of new folks, and usually those are the ones, I mean, you can tell the difference. The folks who've never been through it before are really nervous and not exactly sure what they're supposed to be doing. And then you got the other folks who are all they're doing is going into Publix, and they keep asking, where's the hurricane cakes? And we're not allowed to make them anymore. Well, that was kind of a thing, literally, because I was one of those guys.
Well, listen, Dennis, I posted a silly little video on Instagram yesterday. In a break from the rain bands, about 5 o'clock, I went to Publix in South Tampa on Kennedy across from West Shore Plaza because I wanted to get some romaine lettuce and a couple other things, some chicken thighs for the week. And by the way, cooked chicken thighs for 1 hour in olive oil, salt, and pepper at 400 degrees. Get a crispy outer shell, and with chicken thighs, Dennis, you can actually cook them to 200 because of the fat content, and that is it's a secret weapon, man. I'm telling you. Anyway, so I'm checking out at Publix. And folks, I put this video up. I shot a conspiratorial video. It's on my Instagram, Certified MJ Radio. Give me a follow, Certified MJ Radio. Dennis, they had a whole rolling stand, a 5-tiered rolling stand of Little Debbie snack cakes right in front of the self-checkout. Are you telling me that's coincidental?
Oh, that's smart marketing.
Yeah, Little Debbie. Little Debbie snack cakes right in the middle of Little Debbie churning outside.
Yes.
I bought them. I mean, when I went in on Saturday to get some junk food and some snacks to bring with me to work, I bought the Swiss rolls, and then when I got to work, a viewer had sent me a care package through Instacart, and it had all these Little Debbie things.
Now, what about Diet Dr. Pepper?
Got about 4 cases of it.
Yeah, Dennis's thing is...
It just shows up. They show up at my front door, and it shows up at work. Now, it got to get a load of this. Somebody messed up the address. Our address is 4045 North Himes.
Yep.
And one of the viewers accidentally sent it to 4545 North Himes, the wrong place. And they messaged me on Facebook and said, "Hey, I just sent you something, but it went to the wrong place. You have to go to the bank over by Jesuit High School, and it's sitting in front of the door in the wrong place." And I'm like, "All right, fine." So I was right on my way to work, so I'm literally driving right up.
You drove to the wrong address to pick up your Dr. Pepper sitting in front of the Truist Bank?
Yeah. So there's probably video on their security cam with something up front. They're like Dennis Phillips walking up in front of their door, just swiping whatever was sitting there.
The bank got porch pirated by Dennis.
All right, so Dennis, give us the headlines from yesterday and up to right now on Debbie for the Tampa Bay area.
I mean, the rain was obviously the biggest issue. We had a ton of tornado warnings, probably 24 tornado warnings, and at this point, I'm still not sure if any of them actually made it down to the ground, which is a good thing. But, when your phone's blowing up every couple of minutes with a tornado warning, it's got to be, it freaks a lot of people out. Because tornadoes are one of those things for this area. We don't normally get very big tornadoes. They're usually very small, and a lot of times they don't even make it down to the ground. But, again, those are the things that people really freak out about because, especially at night, there's a lot of fear about tornadoes. You don't see it coming. You don't know how strong it's going to be, and it can cause a lot of anxiety.
And a lot of people, saw the movie. We got cows. And
it's true. And I was on live from 3:00 in the afternoon until about 1 a.m. and on DPL, and just trying to ease the anxiety. But the biggest thing, the big takeaway was the rain. I mean, as always in Florida, some areas get more than others. But I mean, there was over a foot of rain across part of Pinellas County and, southwestern Pasco and western Hillsborough County. And there's still tornado warnings. I mean, a few minutes ago, there's more issued in Polk County. So it continues. And, on Friday, you had asked me, was there any way this was going to become a hurricane? And, I shied away from it. Like I told you guys, I mean, that wasn't the forecast. But I think everybody kind of knew if it made it into the northern Gulf, then there was that possibility. But it still only got to 80. Now, I say that because nowadays it seems like everybody's always concerned that something's going to pop from a 1 to a 5, and like Michael did a few years ago. And, rapid intensification is a thing. I mean, it really is. But we were lucky just because this thing never really got organized until the last minute. So it made landfall at 80 miles an hour. So it was a hurricane, but it was barely a hurricane.
All right, so a couple of things. I had asked before I called you, I wonder if Dennis has a rain gauge in his backyard. Do you?
Yeah, I actually don't. And you'd think that I would, but no, I don't. But I do know how much Palm Harbor had. Palm Harbor, we had about 10 inches of rain.
All right, so I know this is unscientific. I do not have a rain gauge, but you know what? I'm going to order one. I think they're pretty cheap.
Yeah, it's about $20 on Amazon.
On Amazon. I'm going to order a rain gauge and put it in my yard. I took a beer barrel and put it in my driveway, and I know that collects way too much. You got to have like a thin funnel, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, my beer barrel is like significantly filled in the middle of my driveway. And I know that's amplified and exponentially it captured a lot more water. But in South Tampa, you know where I live. I'm just south of the airport, south of Kennedy in the Beach Park area in West Shore. And we must have had, I don't know what the airport said officially up until now, Dennis, but, we must have had 5-6 inches of rain in South Tampa.
It ranged from, maybe 3 to 4 in some spots to over a foot of rain. I mean, that's common because where those bands set up, the heaviest bands were over Pinellas, and it popped. We kept saying on Friday and Saturday, the closer you are to the coast, the more likely it is you're going to have more of the impact. And it's interesting because my family texted me throughout the night last night, and they were saying, they evacuated in Irma. They went out of the area and a couple other spots, but the wind and the rain, they said, was the heaviest that they remember that it's been in 10 years. So, I mean, a lot of people in Pinellas were kind of surprised because you always get the mentality it's just a tropical storm. And then the whole storm surge issue. And there was definitely some water coming up. But, again, we were kind of lucky because it didn't really get as organized as it could have, as a lot of folks were fearing that it did. So I don't want to make light of it, but it was a good test run. I really do, in terms of prep, in terms of people's expectations, in terms of what they're going to do. I think it really was kind of a good test run for folks who've never been through it before, and for most Floridians who have. It was a little nerve-wracking, but you hang at home, you don't go anywhere, and you're back to normal on Monday.
We're on the phone with Dennis Phillips, the chief meteorologist at ABC Action News, ABC 28. Now, did any of the tornado warnings, and you're looking at the rotation, you're looking at the areas of like the pinks and the purples next to the and you're looking at these areas. You're like, oh, this is convection, or this is the spinning, and you're pointing this out. Do we have any confirmation of any actual tornadoes on the ground?
I never got it. I mean, it might be they might issue storm reports, and that was kind of what I was stressing yesterday when we were on the air so long. Like, there had to be 24 tornado warnings, and the Weather Service, they will issue a warning if they see rotation. There were storm spotters out there, just like the dudes in the movie. They literally were out there following where those bands were, and they were looking for funnel clouds. There were a lot of visual reports of funnel clouds, but never did I see a report of one actually making it down to the ground, and I didn't get any reports of any damage. And I kept saying that on TV. I'm like, look, I get it. There's a lot of warnings out here, but I'm looking at every one of these rotations, and they got to issue a warning because it's clearly rotating. There's clearly a funnel, but usually with these kind of systems, they don't make it to the ground. Usually they're funnel clouds, or if they do, they stay on the ground at a really short period of time. But the one in Pinellas, there was a water spout, and this is what often happens. A water spout will move onshore onto land, and then it becomes a tornado. And there was one that moved onshore around St. Pete Beach and moved up through Seminole, and it was clear rotation. And I had one woman who said that she saw the funnel on her Ring doorbell cam.
Oh,
and
wow.
Yeah. So
and that's at St. Pete Beach?
No, that was in Seminole.
Oh, that was. I'm sorry. That was Seminole. Okay, guys.
Yeah, it did. And I've not gotten that video. I kept asking her for it.
Yeah,
so.
Like, send us the damn video. Why would she send that? Maybe she was pulling your leg or something. Maybe she was like a Weather Munchausen's by proxy lady or something.
She seemed genuine, but you never know. But yeah, I mean, that one you could really see the rotation clearly. So. Yeah, it's funny because tornado warnings are one of those weird things. Let me tell you, there is nothing as venomous and nothing as angry as when you go on during General Hospital and a tornado warning is on, and the viewers who get mad when you're preempting their story are vicious.
Dude, you are speaking to the Fester choir. Fester sent me an email at 10 o'clock last night ripping Channel 10 apart because Fester was trying to watch Big Brother, and they interrupted Big Brother as you did. You and I'm sure, Channel 8, Channel 8 with very often, if at all, You know,
Yeah.
I'm flipping around. I wanted to see who's breaking in. I go to Channel 28, you, Dennis, and you're on cover to cover with your colleagues. You know, Delgado on Fox. They're like completely, doing local coverage. Channel 10 and like Channel 8, I'd flip over to say the Olympics are on. I got some Kenyan dude running right now on my TV. You know. I'm like,
Yeah, that's a tough one, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, I'm sure if you break into the Olympics, boy, you are really going to hear it from people.
Well, Fester sent me an email last night screaming at Channel 10 and Bobby Deskins. Fester sent me a note saying that he was going to head to the Channel 10 parking lot and flatten their tires because they broke into Big Brother on CBS.
Why do you say it like I'm a crazy person? It was the HOH episode. Eddie had to make his nominations. And this season is totally different. He has to make 3 noms.
So, Dennis, we were talking about this earlier, and it's hysterical to hear you say that, if you break in on General Hospital or other shows, people go ballistic. You could have a local town being shredded by an EF4, and they're going to complain about General Hospital being broken into. All right, so what is the policy? We were trying to talk about this earlier, and I thought, and I said this on the air, that I thought that most of the local stations, when there is a tornado warning, that you go on the air and you stay on until the expiration?
Yeah, I mean, it's really an FCC thing. I mean, when you're reapplying, you have to show your service to the community. And, I get it. I do. And my head tells me that 99% of the tornado warnings that we see in the Bay Area are not going to cause damage. I mean, and it's true, they're not. But when a tornado warning is, and that's what you always hear from people, why don't you just let it come? This is it. Why don't you leave the little thing on the screen and you have the little crawl on the bottom with the words? Well, all you want to do is hear yourself talk. That's the only reason you're on TV right now. I mean, you get that. And I used to really fight it, and then I would go on TV, and then I would be apologetic the entire time. Well, I'm sorry. I know there's houses that are being hit by tornadoes, but I'm really, really sorry for breaking into your programming. I mean, it gets that bad, and you hear about it all the time. But at the end of the day, the reason that it's done is it's policy, because if 99 times be okay. But I guarantee you, if it's the one time and it's their house that got hit by a tornado, they'd be complaining, why didn't I hear more about this? Why didn't you tell me more that there was going to be a tornado coming? It's a no-win situation.
100%. All right, before we let you go, what can we expect for the rest of today? What can we expect tomorrow? I'm hearing that we still could have 3 to 6 inches of rain around the area still today, and then another couple inches potentially tomorrow?
Yeah, it won't be widespread. There will be bands that are, because, the storm's still there and it's moving slow. It's not going to actually leave Florida and get into Georgia till late tomorrow, and then it's going to meander. And so, you see a big old moisture plume that's coming in with those bands, and those bands are still going to be over Florida. Now, they're not going to be nearly as widespread and as heavy as they were last night, but they're still going to be around. So if you happen to be under an area that sets up under those bands, then yeah, you could absolutely get 2 or 3 inches of rain, in an hour. Right now, there's one over Polk County, and there's a tornado warning. There's been a couple of tornado warnings in Polk over the last several hours. So yeah, it's not going to be widespread. There will be a lot of areas that won't see much rain at all, but the areas that do see the bands today and even tomorrow are still going to see, 2, 3 inches of rain at a time, and then it's, it finally tapers off. And it's still pretty windy out there as well. Tomorrow, breezy, and then it's pretty much done. And then we turn our attention to the next thing. I mean, there's a yellow area down in the same spot. It's going to be Ernesto. And,
all right, stop right there. So the little blob that's now down in the Caribbean, do the computer models take that in the same direction or in a different direction?
Yeah, some do, some don't. The GFS brings it in the exact same spot on next Sunday, as in the Panhandle. The Euro doesn't do anything with it. This far out, it's.
But also remember, the Euro was wrong initially on Debbie. The GFS was closer.
Yeah, GFS hit it. I mean, the intensity-wise, the Euro was probably a little more accurate early on. But yeah, it was this far out. Who knows? But my point is, look, it's beginning now. It's going to be from now until the end of October. We're going to be doing this on a weekly basis.
Oh, crap. I said earlier, Dennis, I said, can this just be our brush for the season? You say fat chance?
I just don't think so. There's no meteorological basis on this, but I think Florida's going to, I think we're going to be looking at another 3 of these things before the season's over.
Yeah,
I mean, whether it's the East Coast, West Coast, Florida's sticking out, and the way the pattern's setting up for the next few months, they're all going to be coming generally. Have less curvature, I think, than we often do. I think the way ridging's setting up, they're gonna go Caribbean. Once they go Caribbean and they come into the Gulf, they got to hit somebody. And I want to mention one thing. I know, MJ, you'll probably find this fascinating. We talked a lot about the Euro. There's a new model out this year, and I think this is kind of cool. And not that it is necessarily accurate or anything, but I like the mentality of it. There's an AI European model, and what it's doing is they've taken the last 85 years of data, just every bit of data they could find on the face of the earth for every single storm and every single bit of information, and they stick it into this supercomputer. And what they're doing is they're taking all that data, and whenever something new is developing, they're comparing it to that. And, so what this model is doing is it's finding pretty much the exact same situation, or as close to it as they can, of what's happening now, and comparing it to previous years over the last 85 years, and they've made a model out of it to see, the Euro has made a model out of it to see how it's going to do. And I'm really fascinated to see how that's going to work out throughout the season. 85 years, you think to yourself, well, we've had to have seen this scenario before. And I'm really, I know you like the whole science part of it, and I'm really kind of intrigued to see how well that it does versus all the other stuff. And that's called it's the ERAAI, and it's the Euro AI model.
Wow.
They just released this year.
That is intriguing. By the way, folks, if you haven't figured out, Dennis Phillips from ABC Action News, our official meteorologist here at the Beasley stations and the MJ Morning Show and Q105. If you hear Dennis's voice and it's a little crackly, we took a lightning hit here at the radio station and it fried a bunch of crap. So our phone lines are just crackly, and there's clearly some phone damage, but at least we could understand you, Dennis. It wasn't terrible, but Julian, my son, who's listening to the stream up in Manhattan right now at NYU, Julian just texted me, is Dennis communicating over a shortwave radio? So,
hey, I got a text from your wife yesterday. I didn't really check my phone very often.
Yeah.
But during DPL, I said something about Believe It or Not, and then I broke into Believe It or Not, We're Walking on Air from the Greatest American Hero, and also from Free Guy.
Yeah.
And Michelle sent me a picture, a meme of the guy from Greatest American Hero, and she's like, you might be the only person on earth who would have actually thought of that after saying that comment. So, but she apparently knew the reference as well.
Yeah. Or remember Seinfeld with George's answering machine? Believe it or not, George is not home. Leave your message at the beep. Remember that?
Maybe that's where she knew it from, but I just remember that. And by the end of the coverage, I mean, you guys know, when you're on the air for a long time, you just kind of sometimes, just get a little giddy, and you have to. It's a fine line, because with me, I try to keep a little bit of levity out there, because I think if people are freaking out, they'd much rather have a little bit of a laugh or something to take the edge off. Occasionally you got some hardcore folks like, it's a serious situation, you have to be serious all the time, and I just don't buy it. I mean, I believe I've had the following that I've had is because you try to have a little fun with it and try to make people a little less anxious when a storm's coming through, because people freak out.
It shows you're human.
Yeah, absolutely. Dennis, thanks for coming on. Thanks for 23 minutes of your time.
No worries. See you guys.
I appreciate it. Dennis Phillips, ABC Action News, chief meteorologist, and I'm sure we'll probably talk to you tomorrow for a bit.
Okay, sounds good.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
All right. I'm just, I'm just praying that we don't have to deal with this again. But you heard Dennis, maybe 3 more times at least this season that we might be dealing with crap.
Oh boy.
I hope that's the closest that we deal with, and that was 70 miles off the Pinellas coast. we're the center of that. And look what it's done. I mean, it was a ton of rain, a ton of flooding in places, but, nothing horrifically serious by and large here in the Tampa Bay area. We get hit directly with a 1, 2, 3 or higher, then that's a whole different story. But luckily,
I just
hasn't happened.
I texted my sister because we have a Disney cruise.
Yep.
I said, what happens? Do we get a refund? And she said, no, the cruise just cruises away from the storm.
Yeah, what if you can't cruise away from the storm? What, are you going to sail up the Hillsborough River? All right. Yeah, that's Riverwalk over to the side over there. All right, 8:55 at the MJ Morning Show. Running late, obviously. Apologize for the phone quality on Dennis, but hey, Andrew, the engineers listen to that, all that crackling crap. Hopefully, I'm going to take some other phone calls when we get back and see if we still have, phone issues with people calling in. So
I stepped out with Max, the engineer. We listened to Dennis's call.
Yeah.
And Max was like, well, there's nothing I can do about it.
Why is he wearing a COVID mask? Did he get...
He is under the weather. He went to not from the cruise.
Oh, no.
He went to the skating rink with his daughter on Saturday, and he feels under the weather, so he's wearing a mask for his and our protection.
Very good. All right. At 8:55 at the MJ Morning Show. Got a little less than an hour to go. The whole 9 o'clock hour starts next, and we are packed in minutes here on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Stand by. Hey, I want to talk about my friends at Profusion. Urged a few minutes ago. Just had Dennis Phillips on again. Apologize for the phone quality. We took a big lightning hit at our transmission tower behind the station. Actually, on Friday, before during a bad thunderstorm on Friday, we took a lightning hit to a tower right behind our building. And it's not that I find out there's been a grounding problem for the tower back there and it hasn't been fixed.
It's a minor grounding issue. They know about it.
Oh, son of a... anyway, where was I? Oh, let me check out the phone system because, we had Dennis on for like 20-something minutes, and our phones are all screwed up. Little time bombs will start popping up of like things that got fried. Because when we got struck by lightning here at the radio station on Fridays, about 6:20 in the afternoon, knocked all of our stations off for like, 45, 48 minutes. And, what happens is that you find stuff along the way days later that got fried. So our engineer, Chris, came in, rushed here on Friday. He did a wonderful job getting our stations back on the air. And he walks into the equipment, the engineering room, and smoke is coming out of equipment. Wow. That's not a good sign.
That's crazy.
That's a bad sign. Let me try Michelle. Let me see if the phones sound good with Michelle, because the Dennis connection was awful. And we tried him a couple of times.
Hello?
This sounds okay.
Yep. Bye.
Oh, wow. Hold on. Why you bum rushing me?
Because you verified that the phone line is good, so goodbye.
Oh, this is clean now.
Yeah, our engineer estimated that Dennis being, a little bit far away and on a cell phone and who knows what the weather is.
But he's on a digital line. We don't use analog cell anymore.
They thought it might have been his phone instead of ours.
All right, so Michelle, you sound beautiful and crystal clear. Hey, how anticlimactic? How much of a letdown was the season finale of House of the Dragon last night?
Yeah, you expected something to happen, something a little more, gruesome and gory, and
It just ended. It was like, I mean, it was just. It was a dud.
Yeah, like my favorite audio emoji.
Which is?
Wah, 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 wah.
Oh, no, that's right. You're not on the cell phone now.
Yeah, I'm not on the cell phone.
Michelle, I'm going to figure out a way to remove the audio emojis from your cell phone.
Why?
All right,
It's so fun.
I'll see you at the gym.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Husband and wife workout coming up in just a bit.
Aw.
Yeah. Aw, isn't that sweet?
No.
Isn't that
Couples
nice?
that work out together get sweaty.
Yeah. Couples
Together.
these have
Stink
more
together.
time to fight with each other.
Is that it? I saw the coolest thing. Oh, man. I don't know if this is like something you can buy or if this is like a one-off. I saw a video that popped up in my reels. And what was I doing? I was just checking some of my reels to see, if they were working right and how many views I've got. For instance, I posted the video yesterday from Publix. Folks, huge Publix conspiracy. A Publix Hurricane Debbie conspiracy. I'm at Publix yesterday, 5 o'clock during a break in the bands in South Tampa to go get some lettuce, some chicken thighs, and some grapes. You know what Publix had going on? Conspiracy. Publix had a Little Debbie snack cake rack right in front of the self-checkout. You're telling me that's coincidental? A 5-tiered rolling rack of all Little Debbie snap cakes while Little Debbie is out plowing around in the Gulf. And I got a 5-tiered rolling rack of Little Debbie snack cakes right at self-checkout at Publix on Kennedy Boulevard in West Shore area.
Never took Publix for such a conspiracy store, but apparently it is.
Very sus.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was absolutely conspiratorial, Publix. I knew what you did there, Publix.
We see you, Publix.
Little Debbie tie in there, all right? Even though Little Debbie is Debbie and the storm is Debby, still, I saw what you guys did there. Or did Little Debbie pay for that space? Because, the shelving and the end caps and placement, and you got to buy shelf space. That's a whole different supermarket conversation.
I don't know. It could have worked out poorly for them because people see the Little Debbies and they're mad about the storm and they're like, I'll never eat these again.
I'll smash those Little Debbies right now. I'll crush them all with my feet. I'll stomp them like grapes. All right, so here's the deal. I saw this, and it's fantastic. Again, I don't know if you can buy this. I didn't have time to research it because I had so much going on yesterday. I'm if you haven't seen my Little Debbie Publix conspiracy video, complete with Mission Impossible music, the video is my last post on my Instagram at Certified MJ Radio. So go to Certified MJ Radio on Instagram. Check the video out. It's already got like 10,000 views already in 15 hours. And also, if you don't follow me on Instagram, give me a follow. Certified MJ Radio. Also follow the morning show, MJ Morning Show on Instagram. If you follow me and you don't follow the morning show, give the morning show a follow as well, because Andrew puts great little clips from the show up every single day. The video clips from in studio. So, again, traffic is just a mess out there. Howard Franklin, 275 North is still shut down at the bridge. You have to exit at Roosevelt. So if you're on 275 North, you can't go across the Howard Franklin from St. Pete over to Tampa. You got to use the Gandy, the Courtney Campbell, use Tampa Road, get in a kayak. You can't drive the Howard Franklin northbound. Southbound is fine. Northbound is not because of water and flooding. They've got you closed down at Roosevelt. If you're on 4th Street North in St. Pete, you try to get on, you can't. They're going to turn you around, send you the other way. You've got the Skyway, which is still closed, maybe till 10 o'clock or beyond. Skyway is closed in both directions, and you've got I-75. Southbound is shut down at Fowler because you had a tractor trailer go off the edge over the rail into the Tampa bypass flood canal, the bypass canal, a tractor trailer dangling over the side. Reports from TV News earlier today said the cab was dangling for 15 minutes from the tractor trailer, and then the cab snapped off into the water. We do not know. Andrew, can you check? Is there any fate on the driver yet? I feel so bad. I mean, my stomach is sick over that maybe a driver was trapped in the cab and didn't make it out.
Yeah, we haven't gotten any word on the driver yet.
Oh, God, I hope it's not the worst case scenario here.
I mean, it's been 7 hours since the crash.
Jeez.
So
anyway, where was I? Oh, this, I don't know if this is real or fake or a one-off or if you can really buy this. This is the coolest thing I've ever seen. The guy, I think it's a Nissan Pathfinder, a SUV. The guy has a fake magnetic stick-on electric charging vehicle outlet. Was it a Tundra? All right, it was a Tundra, sorry. It was a Toyota Tundra.
Yeah, it was a pickup truck with a cab on the back.
All right, I'm sorry.
Man, it looked good.
All right, so it was a Toyota Tundra pickup. The guy walks to the back of his vehicle and slaps on a magnetic electric vehicle charger. It doesn't do anything. It's fake. So it's magnetic, stuck to the back. It's got the receptacle. He then just parks in one of the electric charger parking spaces, which in a lot of places, they're in the best location. So up front, a lot of places, malls or parking lots, the best spots, or spots are taken and you got electric vehicle spots that are open, this guy just puts the fake vehicle charging receptacle on his car, takes the wire and just plugs it into nothing, and he's got a great parking spot. I'm like, oh my God, that is genius. That is brilliant. Fester's on some website right now. What do you find? Fake EV port for
icing. It's for keeping out real electric car drivers.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Icing?
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking for them. It's a pretty niche product.
Oh man, a fake electric vehicle receptacle.
Dummy socket. It's pretty funny.
Man, I thought it was absolutely hysterical. Absolutely. All right. Oh, Andrew, put your mic on. So Andrew saw this. Did I send you this?
Yes, it's on stories we talked about. Or
All right, so you already put it up on our website.
yeah, it's up there now.
So Andrew put the story up on our website. If you want to see the video of the guy just slapping on the fake outlet and then plugging in the electric vehicle charger to nothing, the video is up on our website right now. If you go to mjmorningshow.com and then click on As heard on the MJ Morning Show, the link to the video is there. And what did the sticker say, Andrew, on the back?
On the back of the Toyota Tundra, it says, "I identify as a Prius."
Oh, yeah, that's right. I identify as a Prius. I did see that. I forgot. All right, I've got an Airbnb story, which, man, this didn't happen to me, but this pissed me off. An Airbnb customer, an Airbnb renter, was charged a $300 cleaning fee. Apparently, the guests were forced to take their trash out, but the trash drop-off is 6 miles away.
I mean, if you get...
What?
Dude, I stayed in a place once in the hills of North Carolina where
What?
they didn't have trash service.
Wow.
And you had to bring the trash
Yeah.
to the location, and it was 2 or 3 miles away.
I never built, but I had a ton of land out in Eagle County, Colorado, in the Vail area, near Beaver Creek and Edwards. I had a whole bunch of acres.
You're a big Kobe fan.
It wasn't far away from Cordillera. Wasn't far away from Cordillera, where Kobe had that incident with the concierge, that whole deal. That was a mess.
I'm not trying to distract.
All right. Well, you did distract me.
Just let it go.
All
It's
right.
a joke. A joke floats by itself.
Fine. All right. So in that community, if I had built, we had to take our trash down to, there was like a honey wagon house that was like halfway down our mountain. So I would have to drive like the S-turns and the switchbacks. We had to take, if I did build and I had trash, we would have to drive our trash down ourselves too, to a dumpster inside a little shed that was, I think, about 2 or 3 miles down the road. Yeah, maybe 2 miles.
Could you burn your own trash on your property? How classy would that be?
Yeah, probably not. But anyway, listen to this. A person was hit with a $300 cleaning fee for not taking the trash out of the Airbnb rental, and it turns out the trash had to be driven 6 miles away.
I mean, was that disclosed? Did they know that they were getting into when they got to it?
Anyway, viral video. I guess somebody was charged $300. Then there's a follow-up, and I guess a subsequent renter, who I must have read a review complaining about it. There's a picture of them with like 4 bags of trash that they're holding out of each window. So you got people in the back of the car, people in the front of the car, and they're each holding a trash bag outside the window, dangling next to the car as they're driving down the road to take the trash 6 miles away. That's ridiculous.
That's some rural location.
That's some rural Airbnb-age right there. I think you're accurate.
At our Airbnb over the weekend, or no, it was last weekend, a child peed the bed.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know what? Oh, really?
Yeah.
You don't have mattress protectors?
We have 3 protectors, so the mattress was safe. We have a really thick layer of protectors.
So how old was the bedwetter, do you know?
I don't know, but they.
How long was the rental?
It was just like 3 nights. It was a 3-night rental. This is one of the
so
Airbnb.
So the protectors or those could just be washed, right?
They can be washed. Yep. So
How do you know that a kid peed the bed in one of your Airbnbs?
Could have been a
Because-
grown adult.
no, we found other childlike, toys and whatnot. So a kid was there.
Could have been a grown adult into some stuff.
Could have been some shower play.
You don't know. You don't know.
Sorry.
They had a playpen. Maybe the adult was in the playpen.
Just acknowledge you don't know for sure.
Do you charge
I
them for
guess-
that or no?
I guess, no, I'm not going to. No.
Do you know the
It's an
people or are
accident.
these are just
No,
random renters?
No, you just want people to. I mean, it happens. I have young kids, so they've never peed beds that weren't our own house, but it happens.
I guess that's a good thing.
I guess.
Yeah. Hey, I have another story of the hidden camera situation where people are finding hidden cameras outside of their houses. We've had multiple stories. California, I think it was a Texas story. I'm sure it's being done here in the Tampa Bay area. This one apparently is up in New York. A New York homeowner. Folks, this is a red alert. And some of these have been attributed to like South American gangs. And this is not some urban legend story. This is not like a story that's going to be debunked. This is happening. There are cameras that are being hidden in bushes and shrubbery across from houses, in houses' flower beds, in areas where a house can be monitored and the signal can be sent via like a cell connection. Crooks are putting cameras in neighborhoods to monitor houses to see when people leave to make it easier to break into the house. The latest New York homeowner was doing some yard work, and this the story says this is spreading across the nation. Unidentified homeowner in Scarsdale, which is a very highfalutin area of Westchester County outside of Manhattan, Scarsdale, where I believe the average income is about $2.7 million a year. Anyway, very, very affluent community. And a homeowner was doing yard work. And that's breaking news in itself that a homeowner was actually doing his own yard work.
Right.
You know, in Scarsdale. That's a whole different story. So the unidentified homeowner noticed a camouflage camera hidden in the shrubbery outside his home in Scarsdale last week, according to WCBS Channel 2 in New York. Police said it was camouflaged with fake greenery and hooked up to a cellular hotspot to broadcast surveillance footage as burglars use these hidden cameras across the nation to monitor opportunities to break into homes or steal vehicles. It's happening across the country, folks, and I don't even think a fraction of these have been discovered. So heads up. I mean, just keep your head on a swivel and just see if there's anything suspicious in front of your house, across the street from your house. Look for some of those hidden cameras. You know, if you ever seen those wildlife cameras, that could be a possibility. You know, you can put a camera on a tree and it'll take video and motion activated.
Like a trail cam.
Yeah, exactly. So be on the lookout for if something doesn't look right, it might not be right. So there's a big, big issue going on right now, and it's continuing. We're having multiple stories now pop up every couple of weeks on these hidden cameras. All right, 9:21 at the MJ Morning Show here on Q105. Let's take a break. We'll do our last segment. And look at I've got Hollywood stuff. I got Britney Spears. I have Justin Timberlake.
You better have the story I want you to have.
Oh.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
And if I don't, are you gonna
It's a big one.
cram it down my throat?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, cram it?
Like a French baguette.
Gonna cram it in like a French baguette. All right, well, we'll find out next. Here on the MJ Morning Show on Q105, stand by. Final. Exactly. At the MJ Morning Show. And the final chunk of the MJ Morning Show starts right now, here on a Monday. A little messy Monday. You know, I'm looking out the Accu window right now, and we got nothing going on. Got no real wind over here. Look, we have no rain coming down. Now I'm looking at the puddles in the parking lot. I see no little drips and drizzles coming down. So we got a lull here around 4th and Gandy in St. Pete. Let me look at the radar app, my radar scope, and see. Yeah.
Radar Scope is your app?
Yeah, Radar Scope's my app. People always ask me, "Hey MJ, what's that app you use?" It's Radar Scope, and it's available. It's available on all of the. Let me put it into motion here. Yeah, I'm looking right now, and our side of the St. Pete Peninsula, we've got just a nice gap. There's nothing going on. I see a pretty big cell that's rolling on through Madeira Beach or just south of Madeira. So Treasure Island right now is getting kind of whacked, and then up through Kenneth City. But then it looks like it's heading our way. But right now we've got a gap. Yeah. You know, the way these bands roll, like if I look at my house in South Tampa, right now I've got nothing going on, near my house. But, MacDill and Bayshore is getting whacked right now, just on the other side. Hey, Pat, I invited Pat in, our traffic guy. Pat, you think I'm hosed in getting home via...
Yes.
Oh, good. You're laughing.
Yes.
That's great. So
am I.
We all do. We all leave 275 northbound. We go up 4th Street, get on the Howard Franklin at 4th, and northbound is still closed at Roosevelt.
You're correct.
Is there any indication on when they're going to open this?
No, not at all. But I can tell you that all of the 75 problem vehicles that were there, including the cab and the trailer, they're all cleared off the interstate. They have not opened it yet, but it could open any moment at Fowler.
Okay, so 75 south at Fowler could open soon.
Yeah, within the half hour, if not already.
Oh, geez. This sucks. Oh, man. So,
you see the Gandy Bridge, though, from one end, from probably 4th Street, all the way to West Shore, bumper to bumper.
Oh,
headed into Tampa.
I mean, Courtney Campbell can't be much better, right?
The Courtney Campbell, it's a little slow, but not nearly as bad as the Gandy. Gandy's a mess.
Oh, God. So how do I go home?
And the Skyway's still closed.
Why did traffic reporters sound so happy when there's bad traffic?
Yeah, dude, back it down.
Security.
Good job.
Yeah. All right. This is, folks, this was just updated a couple of minutes ago. This is from ABC Action News. Yeah, I was afraid of this. Breaking news. Driver of 18-wheeler that fell into Tampa bypass canal confirmed dead. Oh, that's sad. The driver of an 18-wheeler that fell into a Tampa bypass canal early Monday morning was found dead, according to officials. The Hillsborough County Fire Rescue said they received a call around 2:35 this morning reporting that an 18-wheeler traveling southbound on I-275 near mile marker 263 in Tampa lost control, went off the road. When crews arrived, they found the truck teetering on the guardrail with the cab still out of the water. But after around 15 minutes, the front cab became submerged. Hillsborough County Fire Rescue said multiple units were actively working for hours to try and gain access to the cab. Around 9 a.m., officials from HCFR confirmed the driver was found dead inside. That just gives me a pit in my stomach. Officials said the truck has been recovered and taken to Steps Towing location to be inspected. Steps Towing, Todd Steps, friend of the MJ Morning Show.
Absolutely.
That could change things, though, now, because the death, the investigation could be longer. So I'm saying within the half hour, if they have to do measurements or things like that, and they're waiting for the rain because it's been going through their left and right all morning long, it might be closed longer now.
Man, I don't know if it's a local trucker or if it's an over-the-road guy from somewhere else. Yeah. From somewhere else in the country. You know, Fester, go back to, I thought I saw a logo on the truck. Yeah, there was one camera shot. Yeah, not that image. That's a Hillsborough County Fire Rescue. There was one image from one of the local TV stations that we saw on TV early this morning, and I thought I recognized or I've seen the freight line that was imprinted on the side of the truck. And I don't know if we can find an image. I meant to write it down earlier, and I forgot to do it. It's been just a crazy day.
I still have the image on my Facebook, so if you want to look at that.
Yeah, I'm just curious. Can you go to your Facebook, Pat?
I'll pull up.
Go to Pat's Facebook and see if I can see the logo of the transport company that was on the side of this vehicle. But you know, greatest fear has been realized.
It's a photo of a screen, Pat.
No, that's 270.
Yeah, that's.
What are we looking at?
Yeah, that's Roosevelt.
This one?
Yeah, click on that. Yeah, I don't think you can see it.
Pat,
yeah,
you're the most unhelpful, helpful person.
Yeah, that is the worst image. That's terrible.
Well, it was raining.
I know, but one of the TV stations was out there, and I thought I saw the logo of the company. Anyway, not good. All right, so Roxanne, you're waiting to see whether. Thank you, Pat. I appreciate your coverage all morning with all the crap going on. I got to figure out, because it's a workout day. I got to figure out how to.
Right, hold on. So Andrew brought in.
Hold on.
It looks like it says extra XTRA.
Yes. We got it. Okay, that's what I was going to say. I thought it was extra something. I've seen. Let me see it. I've seen this logo before on the road. XTRA, and that's not a radio station out of Mexico, just across the border. XTRA is at least the trailer portion has their logo on it. XTRA. So again,
Extra is a trailer leasing
it's
company.
A leasing company. All right, so we don't know who is operating it. So, all right, so Roxanne, you're waiting to hear if I do a particular celebrity item, and if I don't, you're going to cram it down my throat?
We might want to be careful with the choice of words we use here.
Is it a celebrity item?
It's not a celebrity item.
Oh, it's not?
No, well, it's an athlete item.
An athlete item.
All right, well, I don't have any athlete items, so why don't you go ahead and...
What? Are you kidding me? We're just going to gloss over the story?
Hold on. I actually, no, I do, because I have my Olympic pile.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Oh, yeah, I haven't.
Thank goodness.
I haven't gotten to... It's been a busy day, folks. Now it's time for an MJ Morning Show Olympic Update. Tell me it's the Olympic crotch story.
Yes, it's a pole vaulter.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the French pole vaulter's pole.
A pole. So the actual pole and his pole.
So I called it a French baguette earlier.
Were you staring at his bulge? Was that it?
No, but
You're a meat gazer, aren't you?
I'm the opposite of that.
You're not a meat gazer?
No. Except when I'm at a really except when I'm at a good deli.
We're going to talk about Noah's Ark here today because of all the rain.
We need one with all the rain.
All right. So yes, I do have that in the pile. Would you like to share the story?
I haven't read the story. I've just looked at the pictures.
Well, apparently it's erroneous that the pole vaulter's bulge and his crotch did not get stuck.
It touched his leg first, I guess is what they're saying. But I saw something.
It touched his leg right next to it touched his hip.
Yeah, all right. So actually, I do have a lot of Olympic stuff. We just didn't get it. Listen to this. No, a French pole vaulter did not lose out on an Olympic medal because of his crotch. That's the headline from People.
Look at this photo right here of him hitting the pole.
Yeah.
His boys are resting on the rod.
Rod on the rod?
I mean, he is...
Spare the rod.
Just millimeters away from skinning the pole with his thighs, but then his bulge catches.
Listen to this. French pole vaulter Anthony Ammirati, sounds Italian to me.
Yeah, it does.
Won't be moving on to the men's pole vault final at the Paris Olympics, but contrary to speculation, it has nothing to do with his crotch. Ammirati, 21, went viral on Saturday after a video of one of his pole vault attempts made it look like he failed to clear the bar because of his bulge, which seemed to knock down the crossbar. The theory quickly picked up steam and spread like wildfire on social media and through headlines, but a closer look at the video shows that was not actually the case. During the jump, Ammirati tries to clear the bar, but first hits with his shins, then his knees. It's already a failed jump. But then he does knock the bar off fully when he hits it with his wang.
So his wang was on display.
No, but
read this headline.
What?
Read this headline.
A hard defeat. French pole vaulter goes viral after his penis costs him the Olympics.
That's it. That's the story.
That's from the Jerusalem Post.
Yeah, guess what? He lost, but he won with that headline there.
He's going to be meeting ladies the rest of his life with that story.
Oh, my God.
Let me tell you about the time.
He's trying to say, oh, no, it's just my shins and my knees. Don't be so modest. No,
this is
go with it.
Best way to lose the Olympics.
It really is.
I mean, if you're going to go and not medal, let your enormous junk have something to do with it.
Anyway, much more of his body knocked the pole before his pole hit the pole.
I'd live that legend till the day I die.
And also he said that he stuffs it because he actually does have a micro penis.
Yeah.
So
very, very self-conscious.
Yeah, very self-conscious about that. He had a whole wad of
socks, tube socks.
Adidas tube socks all jammed in there. Is what he said during a press conference. All right, couple of things on the Olympics. On a very serious note, congratulations to Clearwater's very own Bobby Fink. Won gold, broke the world record in the 1500.
That's awesome.
That is phenomenal. So, Bobby Fink, does he still live here? Does the family still live in Clearwater, Bobby Fink? Or was he just from Clearwater? I don't know. But that's fantastic.
Good for him. My second favorite Fink.
Who's your first? From Pet Detective?
No.
Oh.
Brian Fink.
Oh, yeah.
Friend from the old radio company.
I used to work with.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
That's Finkel, by the way.
That's Finkel. You're right. Ray Finkel.
Get your joke right.
You know what continues is the complaints about the food. Here's another athlete saying, I have not finished a single meal. Just athletes and workers are just slamming the food. You would think French food, Paris, 2024, that the food would be good. But apparently the food is like ass on a plate. It's just terrible. And then also, the whole Olympic Village is getting bad reviews.
I mean, when you think of a country that is renowned for their food, you'd think France, right? You'd think France would be on top of the list.
Italian swimmer Thomas Ciccone spotted sleeping outside the Olympic Village on like a towel, sleeping on the ground. It's like, what? Italian swimmer Thomas Ciccone, sick and tired of the Olympic Village. I'm sleeping outside, according to this TMZ report. And he's lying on a towel outside on the grass. Thomas Ciccone putting his head where his mouth is, lying on a blanket and catching a few winks after publicly slamming the Olympic Village. The Italian swimmer was filmed taking a nap outside in a post from Saudi Arabian rower Hussein Alireza, fully stretched underneath a park bench. Backpack down as a pillow. What a mess. So it seems like, and then you have the Seine, you have the river, and I mean, apparently some of the swimmers are swimming through chunks of floating poop.
Ew.
It's
such a disgusting river.
Listen, I was on the Seine last summer. Was it last summer or 2 summers ago?
I don't know.
It might have been 2 summers ago. But, you've had swimmers that have said you don't even want to hear what I've seen floating in the Seine. And then they had hold on, Pat's rolling in. Wait a sec, ladies and gentlemen.
I was just going to come in and tell Fester, but 75 southbound is reopened.
Okay, so busting news right now. 75 southbound has reopened. They're not forcing you off at Fowler any longer.
Or Morris Bridge. But I just checked 275 northbound at Roosevelt. Still the same. It's closed for you and everybody else trying to make your way into Hillsborough County. And Gandy's badly backed up. And the Skyway's still closed.
Wow.
And I got to work out at 10:30. I've got to go to X-Force Body.
Why don't you give yourself a really good workout and swim across?
You know what? You'd probably make it sooner.
Yeah.
I'll call up Fink and see if I can get some tips.
So Fink MJ.
Is that more than a 1,500? I think it is.
I think so. It's just by a little bit.
6 miles.
So Bobby Fink MJ, he's a graduate of Countryside High School.
Yeah.
And he trains up in Gainesville. So yeah, he's Florida boy through and through.
But does he still live, and does the family still live in Pinellas?
I think he lives in Gainesville now. But
right.
Wikipedia doesn't go into where his mom lives.
Anyway, that's great. Anyway, I saw a story, like I said, that one of the swimmers said you're not going to just believe what, it's just nasty. And then they had to cancel more swimming events in the Seine River because
of turds.
Well, essentially, it's a terrible turd problem.
Really, this is an old city, and everything drains to the river, and that's how sanitation was when the city was being built. And it's disgusting.
Yeah, they had to shut down events over the weekend because the bacteria content came back, way too high.
Hey, listen, you Olympic swimmers.
Look at the floating brown baguette. Oh, look, it's pouring again now. I just said we had like an open spot here at the radio station. Now it's torrential again.
I see you spoke too soon.
Yes, apparently I did. All right, 9:44 at the MJ Morning Show. Have you seen the Olympic Italian athlete? This gymnastics Italian athlete that's done some kind of promotional campaign for an Italian cheese company, and she's doing all these sexy poses on wheels of cheese.
Around this big wheel of cheese.
Yeah, have you seen this?
Yeah, I saw it like a week ago, and I was like, good for her.
Yeah, I love it. This cheese is sexy.
Yeah, I am all for these Olympians making money any way they can.
Yeah, I'm just curious if her crotch touched the Parmesan that I'm about to sprinkle on my spaghetti.
Can I make a request as to what piece I get?
I got Italian gymnastics Parmesan crotch cheese.
I love her.
Oh my God.
Have you seen the pictures? She's doing the splits like on wheels of cheese.
Is it Gouda and it has the red,
it looks
film
like a
around
hard
it? Is it
Parmesan.
brie?
No,
It's Parmesan.
It's Parmesan. Okay. Yeah.
Look at her. She's a pretty girl next to a pretty round thing of cheese.
Very attractive, but
Throw a glass of wine.
There are multiple pictures, and there are some suggestive photos with her. I mean, it's almost like she's, having a good time with the cheese wheel.
You could use the cheese wheel, those bouncy balls. Look at her. She's stretching on.
Look at that.
Good
She's doing the splits on 4, those giant wheels of cheese? She's in the gym, and they can have 3 giant rolls or big, what do you call those things?
Rounds? 4 big
It's a wheel. It's a cheese wheel, yeah.
Yeah.
She's doing the splits on 4 wheels of Parmesan.
I love it. Very eye-catching.
I'd like the top of the third one, please. About...
All right, I got to hurry here because we are way over time. I teased stuff. Earlier today we had the story about Aerosmith, and Aerosmith is canceling, effective immediately, their final tour. It's done. It's over. Steven Tyler apparently will never sing again in concert, that his vocal cord injury is too severe. He's not going to recover. So the Valentine's Day concert set for Amelie in downtown Tampa next February is canceled. The whole Peace Out Aerosmith tour is over. So we played a bunch of Aerosmith music this morning. I have another band around that same era. So, Roxanne, are you ready once again for the Audio Daily Double? Can you, with just a very quick snippet of music, can you identify the next band we're about to talk about? Here we go, and...
Open Arms.
Holy...
So daily doubles are our genre, and I hear them all the time.
But you surprise me sometimes with... like a song or a band that you don't know.
Oh yeah, I have some gaps.
You do have you have some thigh gap going on. You do a lot of thigh gap. All right, so another one.
Okay.
What?
No, it's just you have this amazing ability to make something kind of funny, really weird,
and then creep it out.
Creep it till it out.
And awkward.
Journey.
Well, the Asian guy is suing for more money because he deserves it.
No, the Asian guy is really good.
He saved that band.
Listen, the Asian lead singer of Journey does a remarkable job. However,
ASP.
However, it's not Steve Perry.
Asian Steve Perry.
ASP is Asian Steve Perry. ASP.
Journey with ASP is awesome, man.
Listen to this. 2 members of the rock band Journey are facing legal troubles as they once again deal with issues related to finances. Always comes around to money, doesn't it? Keyboardist Jonathan Cain, he's an original, is suing Neil Schon, also the guitar player, lead, Neil Schon, an original. So Cain, the keyboard dude, is suing Neil Schon for overspending. Schon issued, this is crazy. Schon issued a cease and desist letter to Cain for performing Don't Stop Believin' alongside former President Donald Trump in 2022. And there were previous issues regarding Schon's spending and access to the band's American Express card back in October of 2022. Apparently, there's a story going around that Neil Schon has racked up like $1 million in charges, personal charges, on the band's American Express card. And now you've got one of the members suing Neil Schon for jamming up the Amex bill.
Who cares? I mean, is $1 million that much to Journey?
Listen, I think $1 million is significant to, if you're plenty of people.
You're in a band for 30 years, 40 years. You all got rich off this band. Is $1 million that much?
By the way, one of my favorite Journey songs off the Raised on Radio album is this, Be Good to Yourself. Only charted, I think, like top 15 maybe. Summer of '86. What a great song. Holy shit. Totally underrated Journey song. We don't play this because it didn't chart high enough, and this probably doesn't test. But do you know this song, Roxanne? Have you ever heard this?
I have never heard this.
Oh, come on! Be good to yourself. Come on. Be good to yourself. Great Journey song. Dun, 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 dun. And I love the intro. I love that little, guitar lick, the little guitar neck slide there, and yeah, it's nice song. All right. Anyway, 9:51 at the MJ Morning Show. I mentioned some other Hollywood things. Justin Timberlake has had his license suspended in New York. Well, that's pretty typical. I mean, you get a DUI. So a New York judge has suspended Justin Timberlake's driver's license over the DUI arrest, or DWI up in New York. Timberlake pleaded not guilty on Friday.
So he's a New York license holder.
Apparently so.
Okay, I didn't know
that.
Okay.
Apparently so. And, interestingly, his attorney kind of let a cat out of the bag. And I was having a conversation with Michelle that I thought that, and listen, I'm not here to defend drunk drivers because I abhor drunk driving, but Justin Timberlake's attorney said something in public that he probably should have saved as a potential surprise for the defense. You know, I'm telling you right now, like Ty Traynor in Hillsborough County would never make the mistake that I think Justin Timberlake's attorney made in defense of Justin Timberlake. Hey, Justin Timberlake, you want a pro? You hire Ty Traynor is what you do. That's what you do. All right, Britney Spears will have the final say on who is the lead in the biopic.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see who she picks.
Yeah, because listen, they're basing it on her novel, so clearly it would make sense that she would. What?
Wait, what'd you say, Andrew?
Britney Spears wants Dwayne Johnson to play her.
I think he's going to end up portraying everybody at this point.
Everybody.
All right, we got to roll, folks. It's been a long day today. It's been a kind of a mixed day. I got to figure out how to get home because Howard Franklin Bridge is still closed, and the Gandhi is just an ass-blasted parking lot, apparently. So that just kind of sucks. Anything else before we get out of here?
Yeah, tomorrow I want to read an entry in my Glitch in the Matrix journal that I keep.
What? You've got a Glitch in the Matrix journal?
Tell me all about it tomorrow.
All right.
Tell me all about it. Can't wait.
The hell did I? Maybe I should have stuck with that Instagram video I posted a couple of weeks ago. All right, we got to roll. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning, bright and early, 6 a.m. on the MJ Morning Show. Give me a follow on Instagram. I'm Certified MJ Radio. If you didn't see my Publix Little Debbie snack cake conspiracy video from yesterday afternoon, it's the last item posted on my Instagram at Certified MJ Radio. Follow the morning show at MJ Morning Show on Instagram. If you need to send me a private email, my personal email, any hot tips, gossip, I'm MJ at MJMorningshow.com. My DMs are also open on Instagram. Email, though, it's MJ at MJMorningshow.com. Folks, have a great day. We'll see you back here tomorrow on the MJ Morning Show on Q105, and let's be careful out there.
The Q105